When you say Congress up 13, it primarily means that in 13 seats that was won by the BJP in 2018,
yes,
the Congress is now leading in 13 of them. So the Congress up by 13 seats. The BJP, when you say it's down by 5, it means that in 5 of the seats that it won in 2018, it's trailing in that. And JDS is down by 7. So the initial indication, just pointing this out, saying 65 seats, Congress up by 12, 62 amongst the seats that are reporting. So I think primarily it's the seats that the BJP won in 2018 that are largely reporting at the moment. Perhaps you'll get a clearer picture as we go along in the day, just to make sense of the numbers that are going down on this one. So Karuna, is there a sense, when you see these numbers right now, I know it's early days, is there a sense of nervousness that's setting in?
No. No, absolutely not. In fact, there is no nervousness at all. For instance, last time we noticed that some of the seats were lost with a terribly narrow margin, like 5,000 votes or 7,000 votes. And these are the seats where we're going to win definitely this time. And, our action in terms of if you know that BJP is a very well-oiled machine, especially at the tactical level. And in the last minute, we have ensured that our people move to the polling booths. So we are absolutely confident. And also the urban, the numbers might look not very encouraging, like 54% just in the urban Karnataka. Yeah. But this audience is quite they're fence sitters, they're skeptical, they analyze a lot. But I think with Modi ji being there, they got a sense of our vision for the country, etc. And I am 100%
okay, Karuna,
sure.
I'm just interrupting you now because I wanted to go across to Aarti and understand the number situation over here. I think we are beyond that stage of early days. I think it's happening terribly fast at this stage. But if you look at the Congress and the BJP, 68 and 61, remember the majority mark is 113 out of 224 is what we are looking at. Now these are leads, not results by any means. But Aarti, if you consider what's happening now, clearly the Congress on the ascendancy. But it's still quite close between the two.
It's still postal ballots, I was told, Vishnu.
No, these
EVMs have also started.
Already started coming in.
So what is the tally in the EVM rounds?
So the EVM rounds at this moment, the Congress leading on 29, the BJP on 21 at this moment, and the JDS on 5 in the EVM rounds. In the second round for the EVMs has also started in few of the constituencies.
So it's still a very close battle, and I think that it would be hasty to draw any kind of conclusions. But I mean,
30-21 right now. In terms of round leads.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
But the edge is with the Congress, as predicted by all exit polls.
And you know what's interesting, Aarti? Sorry to interrupt you because I'm just getting these updates constantly. It's 41-41 as far as postal leads right now are concerned.
Yeah.
But it's really too early, given that Karnataka is a state where the margins are traditionally low, very low. I think until about 11 o'clock, you can't even start making assumptions on the kind of trend that's coming, unless it's like a categorical, clear trend.
Absolutely.
Which is not emerging at the moment.
Not as yet, but hopefully maybe since it's happening so fast, and I'm really surprised because we've sometimes sat here until 10 o'clock, we haven't got any kind of EVM leads.
It's 8:30 in the morning. Remember how painful in some seats in the northeast it was?
Where
it took a lot of time and we didn't get a clear. You wanted to have a point, Sajid?
Also remember in 2018 that even the trends were suggesting that the BJP would cross the halfway mark quite easily, and then later as the day progressed you realized that they're actually going to fall short, and there was
I think it will take by 10 o'clock
and it
for
also
some
depends
sort
on
of
the region where we are looking at.
message coming there. But Professor Gaura, with the kind of whatever the numbers are coming, of course these numbers are going to firm up in a short while from now. In the last election, about 70 seats were decided in less than 10% margin of the total votes polled. Between 10% margin of the votes polled, so it could have been between 5 to 10,000, even lesser than that. Largely looking at that, it would be for this election, and going by the historical data, many seats which are the close seats that are possibly going to have the final say as far as this election is concerned, and that would be later in the day that we would know which way are they falling.
I think you're right. all along people had kept saying this election is truly about 45 seats. Because other things you can surely call as to going this way or that way. And these 45 seats are precisely where you had narrow margins and very fierce three-way contests, which could actually bring down the margin this time even more if it had been genuinely a three-way contest.
That could be the difference between anybody getting a clear majority or not. Those 45 seats, of course.
So,
Absolutely,
Ankit, there were margin of victory seats, which I think if we could pull up the map, we had mapped the margin of victory seats, seats where the margin of victory was less than 5,000 votes.
25
in the last election.
25 seats.
25 seats.
No, there were about, that's right. I'm not sure of the number. We have a graphic up there. So the general thing that one is picking up at the moment, for instance, you see a Hassan where the JDS is, Hassan actually BJP is at the moment leading. I mean, I'm not sure.
That's the Hassan city seat.
It might be. Yeah, it's too early in the day, but in general, one needs to wait to see the region-wise reporting of seats that come in.
But let's just very quickly give a sense of the numbers at this moment, because it is changing. The Congress at this moment at 81, that includes 37 EVM leads, 44 postal ballot leads, 21 for the BJP, for the EVM leads, 42 postal ballots, 63 for the Bharatiya Janata Party, 5 of the round leads for the JDS, 12 from the postal ballots. Total, it's coming down to be about 17. Then there is one independent candidate who's got one vote, one postal lead as well. But overall, if you look at it, the Congress stands at 81 and 59%. 82 now, as far as the Congress is concerned. So very quickly, in terms of the round leads, there you see some sort of a shift which is taking place as far as these political parties are concerned, with Congress consolidating a little bit on the round leads.
Look at a constituency like Babaleshwar, where MB Patil, the Congress's Lingayat face, is contesting the election. 17.3% is what it's showing, Congress leading. I think, initially the trends in that safe seats of the Congress, I think they're doing okay. In the safe seats of the BJP, they seem to be doing. In the core safe seats of the JDS, which is your Channapatna or your Ramnagara, they seem to be okay at the moment.
Veera, is there something coming in from Bengaluru as well? Because that is going to be an interesting constituency, because the Prime Minister put in so much effort as far as Bengaluru is concerned. So, I would be interested. Last time also, the Congress won more, but the 3 defections from the Congress party from Bengaluru, all of them won on the BJP ticket as well.
So in Baitra and Pura, where you have Krishna Bairagowda contesting, the Congress is ahead. In CV Raman Nagar, the Congress is ahead. I'm trying to search for Padmanabha Nagar or one of the strong BJP seats, Malleshwaram or Padmanabha Nagar. If we can spot to one of them out, we'll have an idea as to how that's playing out. I'm also specifically looking for 2-3 seats. One is Hubli Dharwad Central, which doesn't seem to be reporting as yet. I still don't have it in my... in Koratagere, where Parmeshwara is contesting, at the moment the Congress seems to be ahead.
These are shots of the postal
ballots being sorted,
being sorted out.
May I say something about Bengaluru? The voter turnout in Bengaluru this time was very low. And in fact, even lower this time than it was last time. So, Prime Minister Modi put in so much effort, 2 days of road shows with all that tamasha and everything, and clearly did not enthuse voters enough to come out and vote. That's why the voter turnout was so low in Bengaluru this time.
Bengaluru always has a pretty
No, but
poor
this time
record
it was even lower than last time. See, despite the kind of effort that went in by the BJP, so it didn't move the voters at all.
And you'll appreciate this, Mandya. Congress leading. Mandya, I'm talking of the Mandya seat. Mandya is a district with 7 seats, which was all swept by the JDS last time. This time, Mandya Congress is leading. I'm looking for Malur, Congress is leading. Malavalli, Congress is leading.
Yeah, Malavalli there's a rebel candidate in Mandya.
Yeah.
So JDS rebel candidate is contesting. So
they were fighting their internal battles. So for Mangalore, I think UT Khadar's seat, Mangalore Congress seems to be leading at the moment.
It will be but interesting in Mandya, the Congress, if it wins any seats there, it will be almost making sort of a comeback as far as this district is concerned. Last time it was, I think, swept by the JDS.
7 of 7 seats was won by the JDS in 2018.
Okay, let's go straight across to Pratap Kanagal of the JDS, Adil Bopara and Karuna of the Congress party, and Karuna Gopal of the BJP with us. Adil, your sense of the early numbers coming in, it seems to indicate that the Congress is up at this stage at 85. That's up 20 from last time around. These are leads, and these are leads only, no results so far, but they do include postal ballots and they do include a few round votes as well. So is it too early in your mind to draw any conclusions about where this is headed, or do you believe that this is showing a decisive lead for you at this stage?
Well, Vishnu, good morning. I think the writing is on the wall. The people of Karnataka have decided to vote out the incumbent. The Congress party, I don't want to jump the gun, but the Congress party will have a decisive mandate in its favor. We are going to be crossing 130 seats, and pressing issues such as inflation, such as corruption, unemployment have resonated with the masses. My estimate is that it's still the first round, but the leads will solidify as the day progresses. I think by 11 a.m., 11:30, the leads will solidify, and our very spirited campaign will bear fruit.
If I may very quickly, Maya just a short while back was telling us that last time the BJP had started early distribution of sweets, didn't work out for them. Congress headquarters, after a very long time, will pull those shots out. People are dancing. Bhangra is happening there. So would you want to tell them to stop before a decisive lead
Adil,
or a trend comes in?
We're talking about Karnataka elections, but it just goes to show that Bhangra is as much a Karnataka dance as it is.
It's universal now.
It's universal, absolutely.
Well, absolutely. We are keeping our fingers crossed, but the report and the feedback from the ground is very, very positive. I think the 40% Commission Sarkar, the people are repelled by the 40% Commission Sarkar, and we are very hopeful for a very decisive mandate in our favor.
Can I just go across to Pratap Kanagal? Mr. Kanagal, again, qualifying this very carefully, early, etc., but you're actually down 10. And considering that you are a smaller party in certain senses than the other two, that you were looking to consolidate your vote in the old Mysuru region, etc., if you're down 10 at this stage, then is there a real concern that your core area in, for example, old Mysuru may have been, you may be losing over there to some of the other parties, possibly the Congress?
Good morning. First of all, as we it's like last election, it's too early for to conclude on anything. Even the last election, it was up to almost 2:33 o'clock. It was showing 130 leads for BJP, but then it was everything got changed. And secondly, JDS four voters are from the rural side, and it may be so what? I think I'm sure that we will improve our numbers, and we will increase the numbers compared to the previous election. That's the ground report.
Quickly, just pointing out a couple of seats that are coming up as well, just in the interest of analysts. Again, we are qualifying these maybe early, very early. You've seen the numbers on your screen. That basically means 85 seats out of the 20 seats that BJP won last time. The Congress is actually, gaining those seats. In 74 of the BJP seats, they are down by 11 seats, which means 11 of the seats that they won in 2018. Just to make sense of the numbers, again qualifying that these are very early trends.
But Veena,
let's wait and watch. One second.
JDS
Vishnu,
going down is significant.
Yes, it is significant, Vishnu. But let's just wait. This down and up can change.
No. We know that. We know that. We are disputing that.
Yeah, what we have right now, I'm just putting out some of the interesting seats that I'm seeing, pointing here. Gangavati, this is where Janardhan Reddy is contesting from, where he is leading. Gokak, where you have Satish Jarkioli, the great Jarkioli brothers, one who shifted from Congress to the BJP. They are the ones. The reason why Lakshman Savdi had to leave the party, because Mahesh Kumtali was close to the Jarkioli family. There, the BJP is leading. As we pointed out earlier, Chitapur, the Congress is still trailing. These are some interesting seats that are reporting. I think Bangalore. You asked me a question on Bangalore there, Ankit. I think Bangalore largely the seats are remaining with who it is.
Can I ask you one subsidiary question on Bangalore? One interesting person, Mr. V. Somanna, who is fighting against Mr. Siddaramaiah in Varuna. He won from the Govindraj seat, if I'm not mistaken, last time. That seat is being given to somebody else this time. He is now fighting from Chamarajnagar and, of course, from Varuna. So, taking him out of that equation, there are 3 seats which are going to be impacted. What's the sense there in all those 3 seats, Varuna, Chamarajnagar, and Govindranagar?
You were asking me?
Yeah, if there is...
No, so we still don't have that kind of data. But interesting that you point this out. And Shugata has been saying all along that Siddaramaiah wins with a close margin always. Siddaramaiah, last time as well in Badami, the margin of victory was less than 5,000 votes. That is there.
1,600 or 1,800.
8 as well. So in Varuna, my sense was that when R. Ashok was fielded in Kanakpura, I think that was more of a token gesture battle because they needed somebody strong from the BJP in terms of optics to take on DK Shivkumar. And I think it was primarily optics that led to V. Somanna as well contesting from Varuna. I don't know what the consequences are going to be, but his own consequences...
Most of them have been given second seats. They've been given a seat for their safety.
Yeah, but I just want to ask that. Taking Mr. V. Somanna out from his Bengaluru seat, giving him a new seat this time, and then of course putting him in a contest against Mr. Siddaramaiah. BJP is more or less at this moment potentially is looking at putting all these 3 seats in danger. I mean, in that sense.
No, you could look at it the other way around as well, which is, Varuna seats, although it's in the old Mysore region, the voters there, the caste of the voters is fairly distributed. There are Lingayat voters, there are Kuruba voters, there are Okkaliga voters, the Dalit voters. And it's if you corner, arithmetically, if you corner a certain section, then it's likely that you will win.
Yeah.
And Somanna, if I may remind you, when Siddaramaiah contested the Chamundeshwari election, when he crossed over to the Congress, he was managing the campaign for Siddaramaiah. So he knows his onions or his game very, very well.
It's only reporting 2.9% at the moment, which means it's very, very early. But Chamarajnagar, the Congress is leading.
Yeah. Most exit polls, and I was talking to a few of them, are at this moment, and I'm telling you, they said that Mr. Somanna could possibly lose both the seats, and then of course, taking out of Bengaluru could cost the BJP that seat as well.
One interesting statistic, Maya, Virajpet, right, Karnataka South, has already moved into its second round of leads counting. The point I'm trying to make is that this is actually happening phenomenally fast by recent elections.
And who's leading?
Oh, yes.
The BJP is leading as of a few minutes back. As of a few minutes back, the BJP was leading over there.
Vishnu, we also have that region-wise breakup that you're talking about in terms of leads and shares. That's South Karnataka. What you have on your screen West is primarily coastal Karnataka, North and South
is important
Karnataka,
because let's just go through this.
BJP is up in 18. This is the BJP bastion. Okay, BJP is up in 18, but
they're down from last time around.
Down in their bastion, strong seats. Congress is up by.
But let's talk about West for a moment. Aarti, would you like to come in over here? Again, qualified, saying all of that. But this was the area where the BJP was expected to dominate, retain. If they're down 5 in this area, with the Congress making inroads, how significant Aarti is it?
Well, I think we have to wait for these trends to really consolidate. I would say it's a little early because this is a BJP stronghold. And, the BJP is traditionally, it's kind of almost controls that area, But yes, if the Congress has managed to make inroads, I think it suggests a very strong degree of anti-incumbency.
Round leads is now more than postal leads.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're moving away from that.
Anti-Hindutva, but just anti-incumbency against the government.
So here is coastal Karnataka. Coastal Karnataka is a place, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sanjal, where you had written a piece on the caste vote maybe splitting in coastal Karnataka and the Congress making some kind of gains in that region.
Yes, I think there was, on the ground, there is a lot of dissatisfaction with the state level leadership. And that has to come down to certain OBC groups like the Bilavas who feel that they've been left out and not given enough share of the political power.
And this is also where a lot of candidates were replaced by the BJP.
Yes.
So this is part of that experiment.
Okay, Sugata, I wanted to comment, but this is where also a lot of people throughout the campaign kept talking about when Bajrang Bali and all those issues were raised, that this is the place where it will have the maximum impact. The BJP would be able to maximize it. But the other counter to that was possibly the minority vote, which used to get split between the Congress and the SDPI, would consolidate behind the Congress, which could give the Congress gains. And we are seeing 3 gains at least at this moment for the Congress party in this region.
Probably the BJP knew that it was losing its space, and therefore they gave them the Bajrang Dal issues so in order to retain what was quickly sliding away. But I'm really interested in those 2 other seats that you were showing, which are gain for the JDS, because I suspect it must be Kumta and Mangalore North. Where Mangalore North is a rebel candidate of the Congress.
So you're talking about the West, right?
No, it's a coastal
Karnataka.
Yeah,
they're
coastal
up in 2
Karnataka.
because they're down in every other location.
Right, and let's also look now at Hyderabad.
See, the two is very interesting.
That's very interesting.
I suspect it's Kumta.
And then I saw an interesting graphic on Hyderabad, Karnataka as well, where the Congress is gaining. Look,
this is the stronghold.
This is the BJP stronghold. This is the BJP stronghold, and now this is Hyderabad, Karnataka, which is the even-Steven game. Look, Hyderabad, Karnataka, it can, if it switches over to one side, it can be the. Look at that.
No, but this is very interesting because I've actually got an update to this number from Kalyan, or Hyderabad, Karnataka, as it was known. The Congress leading in 21 over here, which is up 6. Right. And the BJP is down 5 over here. Let's just keep shifting from region to region once for the benefit of our viewers. And then, so this is the Kalyan region, as we mentioned over there. I've got it actually 1 seat more than that because I'm in Kittur. The BJP. Let me just go through the graphics once before we analyze it. Let our viewers understand what exactly it is. Where the BJP is down 3 in the Kittur area, the 48 seats over here, leads in 39, repeat leads. The BJP is down 3, the Congress is up 4, it's even Stevens in this area. Let's go to the next area. This we've just gone through. Let's just go to South. And this is interesting because this, of all of the areas, is where the Congress has been making its most decisive, we don't know if decisive or not, but its most significant gains from last time around.
That's right. And look at this. Both BJP
and let's just go to the final region. Before I know we want to analyze this, but let's just, for the benefit of our viewers, just go through these areas once. Bangalore leads for the BJP in 4, the Congress down 1 over here in Bangalore. So that's just in Bangalore itself. I think we've gone through all the regions.
So the takeaway really,
is the South.
No, it's not just the South. Look at Bangalore. Bangalore, where the JDS in 2018, out of the urban seats of Bangalore, the BJP won 11, the Congress won 15, and the JDS won 2. Now, I can't understand
BJP is up 4.
BJP is picking up 4 seats. I'm not sure how that includes possibly Bangalore rural as well.
No, but also this is different. Congress won 15, but then of course
they're talking of seats that shifted in 2019.
It switched as well.
So this is the most important, as you're pointing out, where the Congress is gaining both from the BJP and the JDS.
Let's just get our analysts in also as well. Maya, let's just talk a little bit about the South. How do you analyze these leads?
I mean, it's very interesting because this is Congress JDS. We've been talking about that. The JDS clearly losing out here, clearly not doing as well as it had hoped when they were talking about the numbers and how significant they would be. They would definitely have been counting on the south part of Karnataka. And if they're losing here with a clear gain for the Congress, then we're looking at maybe a smaller role for the JDS after the election results are in.
This is pretty much what most of the exit polls seem to be suggesting, that the JDS seems to be contained in these elections. Are we seeing these gains that we see? You see the BJP in South Karnataka. When you're talking of BJP losing seats in South Karnataka, you're talking BJP has its stronghold, right? When we talk, the problem is when you talk of South Karnataka or Old Mysore region, it has 2 parts. One is the Kaveri Delta region, the Kaveri River Basin region, which is the JDS bastion, and then you have the other areas like Shimoga and other places, which is BJP, sort of is a huge thing. So, is this what we are looking at? Are we looking at BJP perhaps making gains in terms of vote shares in the JDS heartland, and that resulting translating into something beneficial for the Congress? Several exit polls seem to be suggesting.
No, the Congress could have gained substantially, and the JD and the BJP may have sort of swung a 2 or 3% vote towards themselves. So that will make a dent on JDS. So I mean, if both the national parties take away a bit, so obviously they're going to come down.
As of 9 a.m., Professor God, I'm just coming to you. As of 9 a.m., one thing is very clear when you go through through all these regions and the map at this moment. Congress more or less is leading or gaining from in almost every region. BJP is slipping almost in every region. Because this Bengaluru data could slightly be difficult because they won 15, then they were brought down to 12. Two important at this moment information coming in from the Bhatkal constituency. The BJP at this moment is in the lead. And from the Chamarajnagar constituency, the BJP is trailing. So Mr. Somana is trailing. Professor Gowda, you wanted to make a point. Go ahead.
No. The BJP taking away votes in the old Mysore region, it takes from both parties.
Yeah.
It's not just the JDS losing its vote. They are making little gains. They're not making big gains, but the gains come from both sources.
But that would be encouraging, looking at future for the Bharatiya Janata Party. This is encouraging. This used to be the Achilles heel as far as the BJP is concerned. If in this region they start gaining any traction, that would, as I was telling earlier, then this election largely, the Karnataka largely becomes a bipolar state with the regional player being reduced to the margins.
But I still feel the BJP will be a very distant third in the old Mysore region.
So, just to add a word of caution to everyone, Atani, where we were mentioning, Lakshman Sabdi trailing, it now is reporting Congress leading. So it's a very close fight in Atani, and that's a prestige battle. I have 4 indicator seats for these elections, Vishnu. One is Hubli Dharwad Central, and that will show you whether it's the BJP's party that's stronger or the candidate that's stronger. Atani, where can somebody like Lakshman Sabdi shifting from the BJP to the Congress, can that result in some change? Bellary, I was looking at very closely, primarily on B. Sriramalu, whether there has been a split in that old, internal contradiction within the BJP, how that's going to play out. And then, down south, you look at a seat like Mandya, which is very important because on whether the Congress is actually making gains. These would sort of give you a large picture.
What I wanted to actually do is take a look at that strike rate graphic again. If we can just bring up that strike rate graphic again, as the Congress moves to leads of 98, nearing that 100 mark. Remember, 113, they're just 15 away in terms of with leads reaching that halfway mark. Now, if you look at the strike rate, currently 98 seats for the Congress, they need just 15 of the remaining 20 which are left. Their current strike rate is 48, they need to up that to about 75%, but they are better placed than the other parties. Now, this is just leads. If you take a look at the strike rate of the BJP, they require 33 to get a simple majority, but there are only 20 left in terms of leads for counting. So their required strike rate is 165. Now, these numbers are beyond a point are notional, but it just gives you an indicator of how difficult it is. The JDS is a current strike rate of 12%. They were never going to win these elections by themselves, but if they were, they would need a further 88 seats, only 20 left. So I think it's that Congress number which we really need to look at closely. Congress plus, Congress and its allies, they need 16 of 19. The current strike rate is 47%. They need 84. So again, if these leads do translate to results, they may still be short slightly.
Yes.
No, we'll have to wait.
But if these leads translate to results, they might still be slightly short.
But it's just 136 leads so far. I mean, as far as the EVMs are concerned. So that's still...
Shugoto?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I agree with you, Vishnu. I think even if this thing translates into actual seats, they may be in the range of 110, 112, is what I feel.
Right.
So, you see, that's the kind of...
so within striking range, but it's not going to be a walk in the park.
You're saying out of the seats that are reporting, you're already at 97, right? You still got to wait for 206 of 224 are reporting, right? So you still have 26.
No, we are essentially speculating, trying to sort of...
Correct.
If the leads were to be solidify into results, then the Congress's strike rate at this stage, based on the graphics which we just had up, is marginally short of what they would
You're
actually
so
need
marginally you're
of
saying
forming
yes.
a government on their own, right?
So it would be like the 2018 election where the Congress becomes the single largest
The
party.
Congress
and
needs to
BJP
have
it
leads
reverses
or
78 and
ideally
110.
results in 15 of the 7 if the leads actually do become results. So in that there'll be a variable.
Yes.
But the point is in terms of trends, because I think now we can safely start looking at what the broader trends are. The trends indicate that the Congress might be in striking range and not in range for a sweep, Aarti. Would you agree?
Yeah, so it looks, but I think you're still, I mean, I think about 90 of these are still postal ballots.
There are more leads, more rounds now
29
than
for
More
the Congress
rounds
at
now
this
than
moment.
earlier,
like the
but there's
exit
still
poll.
90 which are postal ballots, and I really don't put very much store on my postal
So
ballots.
they've scored a century in
Yeah.
terms of leads.
Yeah.
This is
at
like your
this stage.
exit poll day evening,
Yeah.
where you start off, you think it's going to be hung, you don't know how it's going to play out. Let's wait for a little more time,
Yeah,
we'll get clarity.
yeah.
Congress
I think
touching
we
the
need
100
to
mark
wait a
in terms
little
of leads.
longer.
One
You still
hour-
want to go to a BJP,
And you
Congress
know,
and
the
JDS,
great
yes,
thing is that Karnataka is producing results much faster than other states. I mean, and I have been on election shows where we've had to wait till 10, 11 before we
I
start
think it's
getting
also
some
got to do-
idea.
let's-
High tech, yeah.
let's-
that's right.
No, no, but it's
the
also
tech
got to
capital
do
of
that
India.
Karnataka was one phase election.
Quickly.
That
Yeah.
also makes a difference because that is how the EVMs are opened. If there is phase-wise counting, then that is how it is. It also delays if the elections take too
We'll
many
quickly
phases.
get Pratap Kanagal of the JDS as well to respond to how he's seeing the numbers playing out at the moment. Pratap, if you can hear me, what's the sense you're making out? It seems a little worrying for the JDS at the moment. 23 leads. Out of that, you're down 12 from where you are. Are you expecting to settle between the 20 to 25 mark?
No, definitely not. We are confident that we will pass 40 minimum. That's for sure. This, as someone mentioned, it's like it's as of now, it's most of the leads are from the postal votes, and still we will make by the time I think maybe by 12:30, 1 o'clock we'll have a clear idea.
Okay.
Every election it's JDS.
Okay, you've got a bit of a problem with your line. I'll come back to Mr. Kanagal in a moment. Let me go across to Rajiv Gowda of the Congress party who's with us. So if you take a look at the lead situation for the Congress, you're at 103. Firstly, we just want to not get ahead of ourselves, Mr. Gowda, because there are postal ballots as well. But there are a couple of second round voting that is taking place. Based on postal ballots and first and second round voting at EVMs, do you believe you are going to touch the magic mark by yourselves or fall just short of it?
I think the trends are in the right direction, Vishnu, and basically we are confident of getting a majority. It's, as you said, it's a little early, and we will wait for a couple of hours before trends crystallize.
Are you satisfied with where you are presently, or do you believe that, in terms of leads, you would have liked to have seen yourself somewhat better?
We would certainly like to be, at least, we should, already having a majority by this time. But
that's important.
It's trending in the right direction. So there's no need for us to get super excited.
What is interesting is that, half a sec, just one more point, Veera, before I come to you. If you look at the West, and let's have a graphic, if we can, of Western Karnataka, it's interesting where that this has been a stronghold. If you look at the West, this is where the Congress is up for. This has been the heartland of the BJP. These are leads. If these do trend into results or turn into results, then this is where you're making a huge sort of presence. How significant is that for you?
The coast has been sort of a laboratory for Hindutva politics. So every gain that we make there, like we had swept in that region in 2013, is actually a very valuable gain, and because it helps restore normalcy and balance on the ground. But regardless, it also shows that people are sick and tired of that kind of divisive politics. So if we are able to, we would consider that region to be the most competitive and difficult for us. We are doing extremely well across the rest of the state, but the coast has been a challenge, and if these are the numbers that are coming in and indicating sort of a even Steven balance there between secular forces and the BJP, I think that would be a very good sign for Karnataka and for the Congress as well.
Rajiv, I'm just going to focus on Bangalore a little bit for you. Bangalore doesn't seem to have changed sides dramatically from whatever we have. It's the safe seats seem to be with the BJP, Congress, whatever is there. You ran the RWA's Resident Welfare Association campaign, and is there a first you saw that there was no great increase in voting percentages. What is going to be the defining feature in terms of Bangalore in this election for the Congress? Is it going to remain exactly how it was perhaps in 2018 with maybe one or two changes, or do you really see some kind of significant gains for the Congress?
I'm looking at tremendous change, Veeraraghav. Basically, you have maybe a dozen seats where the Congress has very strong MLAs. Similarly, on the other side, you have about 10 seats where the BJP is very strong. Now, the remaining seats are more or less the ones in play. And there, our apartment initiative, our outreach to RWAs, to citizen activists, etc., has met with tremendous response. The turnout numbers are misleading in the context of Bengaluru city because the voter rolls are a little messed up. They always will underestimate the actual turnout. And what we've seen is the apartment voters have come out in large numbers. We've got evidence of that from the feedback of various citizen activist groups across the city.
Sure.
And those groups are the ones that are going to make a difference in the outer seats, say Mahadevpura, say Byataranpura, etc., where the growth of apartments has been substantial and where there are a lot of new voters eager for change and an escape from
Rajiv,
the difficulties of the past. I do expect that we will, the Congress, which has only 12 or 28 in Bangalore urban, will cross 15, 16, 17 minimally this time.
All right, let's just go across to NDTV Srija, who joins us as well. Srija, give us an idea of what's happening around you. What is the sense that you're getting now? Are some of the political leaders coming out and speaking, or are they still pretty tense and nervous at this stage?
Well, unfortunately, nothing much yet at Yediyurappa's residence. This is very unusual because all this while we have seen, especially when even from the time where the BJP High Command had not given various tickets to some of the senior leaders, the first action that we witnessed was right here, right outside B.S. Yediyurappa's residence, not even Bombai's or even Mr. Katil, who's the BJP state president. So everybody were rushing right here, those who even got the tickets just to thank him, or those who even did not get tickets to also try and persuade him to get the tickets. But today it's unusually quiet, deserted. We haven't seen anyone enter, just apart from his daughter Aruna Devi, but not really much of an activity outside Yediyurappa's residence. But also to talk about other leaders, also we are still not getting in terms of action on ground right outside even BJP headquarters. Not really much of party workers who are very excited in terms of how their numbers are picking up. But what we do know, just like you pointed out, yes, they may be in a fear of of course because of the anti-incumbency wave, whether they are losing or not. But again, you have Bommai himself just about a few hours ago, where he went on to say, exuding confidence, saying that the BJP will come back to power.
Just hold on a second. While you take that question, one interesting thing at this moment, and like these numbers also, Congress at 109 leads, but if you add BJP plus JDS and the other, they are also at 109. Very, very interesting. So this is happening right now as far as these leads are concerned.
It's a close election. Sunil, we've got live pictures of Basavaraj Bommai there, presumably in Shigaon, or in Hubli. He's got a house in Shigaon as well as one in Hubli. I think this is the Shigaon house, if I recognize it. So there, perhaps hold up with all his supporters and this one. Sunil, the sense that you're getting, you started off saying that the Congress is hoping for a number around 117 plus, right? The sense that you're getting as you see this on two counts. One is coastal Karnataka, which you understand really well. There seems to be some gains the Congress has been making in coastal Karnataka. And what's the real talk that's happening at the moment in the Congress? Is there still a feeling that you may just be above the majority mark and not have
or just victory? Short?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I said, it's between 117 to 125. That's their own election strategist, who's Sunil Kalagalu, who's been really working and done this entire campaign. They have really made that assessment as we speak. In fact, leads coming in from which will really give you an indicator of how things are. Look at Chikmagalur. C.T. Ravi, BJP strongman is trailing. This is also a seat where Indira Gandhi contested in 78 to come back to Parliament after she was removed. So you can imagine if that is that indicator that the BJP is trailing. They are quite confident that they still will be able, because to get,
so
even
Sunil,
though it's
I'm
looking
interrupting
right
you now
quite
because
close,
the Congress at this stage, in terms of leads alone,
that they will come towards,
has crossed that magic mark. Sunil, just interrupting you there because in terms of Maya, would you like to come in for a moment as you analyze this? Firstly, let's look at the overall lead situation. Would you like to run us through this, and then we can talk about regions as well?
Well,
Maya.
fantastic for the Congress camp because they have got that 113 figure, at least in terms of leads. That's what they're looking at, really. We have the BJP considerably down again in leads. Of course, this is still early, very early in the day. 84 is much less than they would have wanted and very, very far away from the 113 mark. JDS was always in the 20s. I think they were not really expecting more than the 20s. But whatever it is, even if it's in the 20s, it may make the difference, of course, if the Congress does slip below that 113. And as Ankit was pointing out, the combination of the BJP, the JDS and the others could give competition to the Congress. So, yes, they've gone to 112 now. They've slipped down that one figure below the 113 magic mark.
Shall we just take a look at the regions as well? And Maya, if you want to just go through some of the...
to our reporters as well?
Yeah, we will. I just wanted to go across to the regions. If we can just do that for a moment and run through those regions, because it is actually a really fascinating story. Again, Maya, if you look at the West, it's the Congress gains over here in this bastion of the BJP, which is significant.
Absolutely. I mean, the BJP, coastal Karnataka, they were kind of synonymous, although there were early reports that the Congress was making a gain here, as you had pointed out, that Congress was actually making a gain here. And the BJP has really gone the Hindutva route in coastal Karnataka. That's what they continue to do. They replaced a sitting MLA with the man who actually fanned that whole hijab issue of young girls having to not being allowed to wear their hijabs. And the man who was behind that campaign was actually given a ticket and replacing a sitting MLA when it comes to the ticket. So the BJP really stressing on Hindutva in the coastal region. So if they are falling here, it's, I think, a very interesting indication of how Karnataka actually looks at that whole issue.
It's not just how Karnataka looks at that Hindutva issue, and I think there was a deeper caste dynamic that was playing in coastal Karnataka, plus anti-incumbency as well. Look, these are regions where the BJP has dominated throughout. Let's quickly get a reaction from both Arun Gunasekaran as well as Pratibha, who's outside the JDS residence. Pratibha, quickly. Or do we have Arun up there?
Arvind. Pratibha, we've got Pratibha. Go ahead.
Pratibha, what's the sense you're picking up?
Well, I'm stationed right outside Deve Gowda's residence. What we are told is that Mr. Kumarasamy would be arriving here anytime soon. Just before this, he did seek divine intervention. Perhaps he's hoping and praying to God and the Almighty to find out if he'd get the blessings to be either a king or a kingmaker at this point in time. But there was an interesting remark that he made just before he left for the temple while speaking to the media, where he said that he was literally blaming the media as well as poll experts for claiming that both the both the Congress as well as the BJP would be scoring extremely well in this election. There was also a hint of disappointment when he said that I am a nobody, I'm an extremely small man here, and he was also claiming that he's going to be playing the wait and watch game, saying that let me wait for at least about 2-3 hours to tell you what my next move is. So there is this wait and watch game, an extremely silent atmosphere that you witness here right outside the JDS camp. Perhaps we'll have to wait and see whether the fractured mandate, if at all it happens, would kind of put the spotlight back on JDS.
We'll go across to Arvind Gunasekaran as well, but before that, so while at this moment combining the postal and the round leads, the Congress is at 118. The BJP at 82, 7 of those 82 are coming from the postal leads, the JDS at 19, and this is exactly what we have been discussing in the exit poll time as well. Anything below 19 is more or less, the decimation in that sense of the JDS. I mean, this is
below
the
20.
They are at this moment 19 with one postal lead in that. But very interestingly, the Election Commission of India website at this moment, they have 39 leads. 25 of those 39 leads are for the Congress party, 12 for the BJP, 2 for the JDS at this moment. That's the Election Commission. They will take their own sweet time, but at least the Election Commission is predicting at this moment 25, almost double seats as far as the Congress is concerned. Arvind, at this moment, if you combine the postal ballot plus the round leads, the Congress leaders would have the broadest smile at this moment. 119, up 41 from last time.
Yeah, Ankit, even the exit poll survey or the internal survey of the Congress party showed that they will get at least 115 seats. That's why the Congress party was kind of very confident that they will somehow manage to form the government on their own, and that's why they didn't reach out to JDS. Can we also fix the feedback? And also, very importantly, if we could put the entire Congress campaign strategy into perspective, 1 month ahead of the elections, when the Congress party did the survey, they had almost 3% margin higher than or ahead of BJP. But after Prime Minister hit ground, that's where the momentum of Congress party got arrested, and that's where it galvanized BJP workers, and BJP workers started coming out and campaigning vigorously, and that's where Congress party felt that their momentum is not, they are not able to gain momentum in order to cross the halfway majority mark. So the Congress party kept the elections mostly into localized election. They just focused on the 5 guarantees of the Congress party, and they also focused on this 40% corruption government of BJP. Right. Also, if you could see the election campaign.
Right, Arvind, we'll just go across to some images now coming in. I believe Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is praying. So let's just take a look at this.
Significantly at the Hanuman temple in the national capital. This is a very, very important Hanuman temple. The one in CP, in fact. This is the Hanuman temple, and so she's praying there. Indications also, everything is an indication. And I want to also put across with Priyanka Gandhi, because we are talking about her.
Is this thanks or?
Already it seems, but very interesting data on Priyanka Gandhi. She, among the national leaders, has been the leader from both the Congress and the BJP who has campaigned the maximum in the state of Karnataka. She did 26 rallies, more than even Mallikarjun Kharge, who did 25 rallies, 8 road shows. Overall, Priyanka Gandhi, her presence was 34, the various programs in Karnataka. Compare that to a Rahul Gandhi, 18 for Rahul Gandhi, 26 for Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, and 1 for Sonia Gandhi. And if you contrast it with the Bharatiya Janata Party campaign, because we largely tend to talk more about the way Prime Minister is conducting his, road shows and all. They are quite grand. Prime Minister rallies, road shows, 25. Amit Shah, 31. And JP Nadda, 26. So after Priyanka Gandhi, it's Amit Shah from the Bharatiya Janata Party who has invested most of his time in Karnataka. So that's also very, very interesting. Aarti, if I may bring you in on this, for Priyanka Gandhi, both in Himachal Pradesh and now in Karnataka, she has taken a lead over Rahul Gandhi in terms of the way she's campaigning. She was the one who announced that 2,000 rupees for the women head of the family in Karnataka. She was the one who countered Narendra Modi when the Prime Minister spoke about he's being abused. She was the first one to come out and said Prime Minister makes a list of the abuses against him but doesn't talk about the people. Largely setting that national tone of the leader as far as the Congress is concerned.
Well, I think it proves yet again what all congressmen feel, that Priyanka Vadra is a better campaigner than Rahul Gandhi. She has much more connect with people. She has, if I just go back to that first election that Sonia Gandhi fought in her life, when she fought from Bellary, you remember?
Right. Yeah.
And Priyanka Vadra was in charge of her campaign. And, when we went there to see that thing, she was standing on the Jeep and, going through, making eye connect with the crowds from a Jeep. It was quite incredible to watch her.
Yeah.
So I think that, this is something that congressmen have been saying
She's been a
for
real
years,
factor.
that she is the person.
Is this a sign for time to come in the Congress?
Many people,
Maya,
Priyanka Gandhi actually reminds people so much of her grandmother,
Yeah.
Indira Gandhi.
Was that a...
I think that was very much a feedback then, that she has that same style.
Okay,
that
we've got a
same
voice
style of
from the
campaigning.
BJP at this stage. Aparajita Sarangi from the BJP with us. Thanks very much, Aparajita, for being with us. I know you will say it's early days so far, but at this stage, the Congress significantly up and ahead. What is your reading of the present situation?
We are all glued to the TV screens, and I think Congress is having the lead. But at the same time, I would say that we are not disappointed at all at this stage. I think by 12 noon or by 1 p.m., the idea would come to us as to who is winning and who is losing ultimately. But I think we are all very confident of the fact that we have done our best. We have put in our best. Our main intention has been to serve the people of Karnataka. We have done in the past. And whatever role we would be in, we would be serving the people of Karnataka, remaining connected with them. And I can only say that we went to the people of Karnataka with our report card, and under the leadership of Sri Bommai, we put in our best efforts. Wherever our Prime Minister went, wherever our senior leaders went, we had a huge positive response. All the rallies evoked huge positive response. So even now we are confident that we would be doing much better.
Ma'am, at the moment, the numbers are showing Congress at 118, leading in 118 seats, up 38 seats. By what time are we going to call these elections? By what time will the BJP call this an election?
See, Bharatiya Janata Party is a party with a difference. You may not agree with me, but we indulge in a lot of self-analysis, and we never lose. We either win or we learn. So if we don't have the numbers with us, we would say that it's our learning stage. We would go back to our table and we would definitely look into what went wrong.
Aparajita ji, but if the Bharatiya Janata Party loses Karnataka, practically you are out as far as the south of India is concerned. How significant would this defeat be if it happens? Because at least with what the numbers at this moment suggest, that the Bharatiya Janata Party is trailing with quite a bit. The Congress, in fact, in the lead there. You were talking about the Prime Minister's roadshow. Do you somewhere also feel that the entire emphasis on not having a local leader, Mr. Yediyurappa was not on the ticket, and the issues like Bajrang Dal did not quite work for the BJP?
No, it's far from the truth. I would definitely not say that we had not taken our local leaders along. You please have a look at all the rallies of Prime Minister Modi. In fact, all the local leaders were there up in the vehicle with him. So to say that, we kind of, sidelined them, it's absolutely far from the truth. I can only say that we did our best, but yes, something must have gone wrong somewhere. And we are very good at self-analysis. But yes, I should not get into these kinds of conversations at this stage. Let's wait for next 2-3 hours. Picture will become clear. The only thing is that Karnataka, to say that Karnataka would actually show us the path for, or rather it's the trailer for the film in 2024 is not true. Please don't forget that we just had governments in Tripura, Nagaland and Meghalaya, and last year also we had state governments in 5 places. So to say that, Karnataka would be showing the way for 24 is not right.
But the lesson seems to be, at the moment, the trend seems to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, and this is not just to our panelists as well, that while the Congress seems to be comfortably ahead, and obviously again, we say till the final results come out, you don't know. The BJP hovering around the 80-seat mark at the cost of the JDS largely losing out in this thing. So, in a sense, the BJP seems to have held on to its strongholds and has those 80 base seats which can allow it to be a very powerful, effective opposition in Karnataka if these numbers hold at the end of the day.
See, whichever role we would be in, we would be very powerful and very effective. But at the same time, the only objective would be to serving the people of Karnataka.
Right. I was actually putting that question across to Aarti Aprajit.
Yeah, so, I'd just like to say that, look, the Congress has been campaigning in Karnataka for 2 years. All right, it has a robust organization. It has 2 strong regional leaders, and and it ran a very effective local campaign with a very strong issue, 40% Sarkar. Yet, if it doesn't run away with this election, which is what it should have, given the kind of campaign it ran for 2 years, if it's not running away with this election, it means that the BJP has dug deep roots into Karnataka and is holding on to, its areas.
But ma'am,
so if you're looking at 2024,
that could be said about the Congress in 2018 as well, because they also at that point of time won 78 seats despite the anti-incumbency.
Which is why the Congress is today, unlike in other states, in a position to form a government.
True.
Every other state, the Congress is just vanishing, But here, it is still robust. It's an active organization.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if you're looking for 2024, which is, actually, I think what everybody would be interested in, don't rule the BJP out in Karnataka.
Not at all.
It's still, 2024 is a completely different ball game to what we're seeing today.
Yeah.
So, and the BJP is still a very strong player. And I think what is really key is to see where the JDS stops. Because if the JDS, gets less than its usual number, it means it's becoming a bipolar state.
True.
The
Sanjay,
Congress versus, BJP state.
Couple of issues. One, with if the results do hold, if you look at 2018, that's when the BJP really maxed out its Karnataka performance. It fell short of a majority. So it does show that I think for the BJP, this 80 seats probably is a base mark, that these are the safe seats. But for them to convert those 80 into a majority, 115, 120, they'll need to probably move into areas like Old Mysore, which in 2018 they could not, and that prevented them from crossing the majority. The second one regarding Lok Sabha, I think Karnataka has always had a different flip.
Absolutely.
If you look at Bangalore
Celebrations
City,
from the Congress headquarters, we'll cut to that as well. Pictures of celebrations coming from the Congress. Bhangra is on. I wonder when the traditional Karnataka style celebrations will sort of come by in the Congress.
But what a day it would be for the Congress party, which election after election, post 2014, in a straight fight with the Bharatiya Janata Party, more often than not, has been losing elections.
This is a major state.
It is a major state.
Unlike Himachal, which they also won, but that's such a tiny state.
Very, very important for the Congress's fortunes in 2024 and also in the elections that they will fight in 2020. Rajiv Gowda, how significant should we put, if these trends hold, for the Congress party, a victory in the state of Karnataka? Even in the campaign, it looked like a do-or-die battle for the Congress party.
I think this is a precursor to many more victories for the Congress nationally, and of course, united opposition victory in 2024. You must remember that in this election, you had a very, very powerful campaign led by the Prime Minister. So this is really a rejection not only of the state BJP, but of the Prime Minister. And it's, multiple things. It's both a positive vote for the Congress, our 5 guarantees, our outreach in, across the state, but it's also a very significant negative against unemployment, against price rise. And so basically these are issues that are national as well. And the Prime Minister's attempts to communalize the election have failed, and the people are too smart. Karnataka's people are too smart to fall for those tricks. And so this is a precursor to what you're going to see across the country. You're going to see the BJP trying to divert attention away from the crucial economic issues and to try and create emotional issues and Hindutwaize the election. And you will see that the people of India will follow the lead of the people of Karnataka and reject this outright.
I should add one quick question which you may want to sort of address. In terms of rounds, there are 4 rounds where counting has actually happened. Not completed, it's happening. Of that, in round number 1, 79% is over. 178 constituencies have gone through that. We are now 17% in round 2, 2% in round 3, and just 1% in round 4. But it's happening quite fast. So we are well and truly over the initial phase. I think my question is this, when do we call this?
Very difficult to say, because you see the numbers fluctuating.
Yeah.
See, BJP was 80, 82, and it's gone down to 76 now. JDS was down to 19, it has climbed up to 24, which only indicates, Vishnu, that it's a small margin election and things are changing pretty much. But, the lead position of the Congress will remain.
Right.
Plus or minus 10 seats is what I guess.
Professor Gowda, may I very quickly, with the data that is coming in on the Election Commission website, they have given about 75 leads so far, 44 to the Congress, 23 to the BJP. But one very interesting thing that it shows, the JDS's vote share at this moment, it's early, 9.76. It's a total decimation as far as the JDS is concerned. It's less than 10% as far as the 9.76 as far as the the percentage is concerned so far.
This probably means that most of the seats are from the northern parts of the state.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just talking about the numbers that we are seeing right now. The Congress at 44.45% vote share, the BJP at 37.71% vote share, JDS at 9.76. Whatever way you look at it, the biggest loser in this election is the JDS, at least with the numbers that are holding at this moment.
To make such a definitive inference, I would wait. But I think these seats are mostly from areas where the JDS doesn't have much of a presence.
Again, I was just talking about the numbers that we are holding right now.
Decimation may be a too strong a word.
Just look at the data that is playing out right now.
Correct.
The Congress's vote share is up by 5%. I'm sorry I interrupted you there, Shugata. The Congress's vote share, at the moment, the change that they're talking about is 43% with 5% up. All right, now we've shifted down to seats as well right now. We'll go back to that. 115 seats at the moment. So there is an up. So I think
but a drop of 7% for the JDS. That's a very, very significant number.
Given what we have right now, Chandan, at the moment in the morning, and juxtapose that with the exit polls that predicted in general, is the JDS getting squeezed out? I mean, that seems to be. I'm not making a definitive analysis.
No, it looks like that. It's getting badly hit is a fair assessment to make. But in terms of decimation, if you have to speak in terms of decimation, we'll have to look at what regions have counted how much.
No, true, but a 7% vote share away from any political party is the most significant percent. I mean, in 4 to 5%, you actually win and sweep elections.
I agree, but you're still in the fourth round.
True, I agree, but I'm just talking about the numbers right now.
I just wanted to take a look at some.
It's taken a hit. It's taken a hit. Whether it's really a body blow or not, we will know at the end of the day. Because trust this, Ankit, and I think Maya, important. You've seen 1999, which was the biggest victory for the Congress at 132 seats when SM Krishna came out in the process. After that, you've had the BJP split, and then they got 124. At 115, and this is to Aarti and Maya, is the Congress comfortable? The number right now seems to be leading in 115 seats. At this number, is the Congress comfortable, or will the Congress be comfortable only if it's past 120 plus?
Unfortunately in Karnataka, it has happened that the election results a year later. What happened last time? In 2018, there was a single largest party. In 2019, the situation changed. So they would definitely like to have a number that is larger than the combination of the other two parties. They would like that.
Karge kept saying that please give us 150, otherwise you know what will happen. So that was the thing that was being said in all the rallies and public meetings.
So at this moment, the BJP and JDS combined at 105.
Remember that the Congress has post-elections, after they win and they're able to form the government, they have to sort out the Siddharamaiah versus Shiva Kumar battle.
We'll talk about that in just a moment.
No, I'm just saying that is the biggest challenge ahead for the Congress.
Can I just edge it over here with a quick question? I just wanted to go through, some of the key candidates over here, and it's quite significant. And Chandan, you may actually want to look at this. V. Somanna, Chamarajnagar is trailing. Jagdish Shettar in Hubli Dharwad Central is trailing.
As expected.
That was expected.
I would have said
R. Ashoka trailing. H.D. Kumara Swamy in Channapatna is trailing.
Was he trailing? I thought
at the moment.
Okay. At the moment, because that's a very close fight, Vishnu, with C.P. Yogeshwar, who actually
and Jakiroli Ramesh is also trailing. Go ahead.
Yeah, C.P. Yogeshwar actually won in 2013. Well, didn't he? C.P. Yogeshwar won in 2013 in that bid. So we'll put those trails there.
Vishnu, do you have the figures for Varun?
That I think this is Ramesh Jarkioli trailing in Gokak. Now this is big because Ramesh Jarkioli represents the Jarkioli brothers and their influence in the Belgaum area completely. Yes. 3 brothers, one fighting with the Congress, the other 2 with the BJP. Ramesh Jarkioli trailing in Gokak. That's important.
Like the Shettar and Lakshman Savathy would be a prestige battle for the BJP. They would want them to lose. This would be a prestige battle for the Congress as well. They would want Mr. Jarkioli to lose.
Yeah, Ankit, he crossed over from the Congress and
that's
became a
what I'm
total liability
This
to the
is
BJP.
Varuna over here.
So Varuna Somana is trailing. Now,
He's trailing both constituencies.
Yes,
This is exactly what I was saying earlier.
And I think the more important one was the one that you
Dr.
pointed
Ashwath
out.
Narayan, cabinet minister, he's also trailing at this
No,
point.
he's leading.
Leading, sorry.
He's
Maleshwaram is leading.
No, we are talking. These are BJP safe seats. The day BJP starts trailing in these seats, I think the party is in deep trouble. But these are BJP safe seats. We are talking of, this is Bhaskar Rao, who you interviewed as well. Part of it. I mean, he was expected to trail in that election. Sorry to say that. The question that you raised, Vishnu, very important, of Hubli Dharwad Central. I don't know if we have it up on our screens.
What's the situation over there?
In Hubli Dharwad Central, because I don't have the numbers out here. I wonder what's happening in Hubli Dharwad Central. If Jagdish Shettar is trailing, because I mean, one should also see how much
Hubli Dharwad Central.
Because this is a seat that Shettar has held since 1994. Mahesh Tengenkai is State General Secretary, first time contesting an election. It's the party's entire weight was behind Mahesh Tengenkai to prove that these are seats where the candidate is not important, the party is important. The BJP wants to increase those kinds of seats in Karnataka.
Jagdish Shettar is trailing in Hubli Dharwad
doesn't mean damage.
Yeah. So
he's trailing at this moment. Mr. Shettar is trailing at this moment.
Also a very important point about Shettar himself is Shettar was not the mass leader like Yediyurappa. So his exit, we have been maintaining this right from the beginning, that it has meant very little for the BJP.
Right. That's right.
So that's very important.
I'm making an assumption here, or perhaps an analysis, maybe too early in the day, but are we seeing also, as these results play out, a change in the nature of the BJP in Karnataka, turning into a party which is led as a party and not driven by individuals? You see, one of the big problems for the BJP has been it's been captive to certain powerful candidates and go on
and
with
families.
I think so, because when B.S. Yediyurappa was there in all his power, he was not an easy person for the BJP to handle from Delhi. He, of course, left the party in between, causing a lot of damage to them in that 2013 election. He was not a pushover by any stretch of imagination. He wasn't a pushover. And there has been a feeling that people in Delhi, in the party in Delhi, want to have a greater say in what's going on in Karnataka, which means less powerful leaders. So you're seeing the old guard being taken away, being moved away, being not given tickets. Maybe their sons are. But Ishwarappa, Jagdish Shettar, Yediyurappa himself, of course, not contesting. So maybe they want people who are more controllable.
Does this also mean in the way the BJP functions in Karnataka? When you speak to a Yediyurappa, he will. When you speak to him over hijab and all those, he said these are not the issues. We talk about the work that we have done. Contrast it with the new team that Mr. B.L. Santosh has put in place. They are largely talking about these issues and a lot of ideological shift bend as far as the BJP is concerned.
Yediyurappa has always been different that way. In earlier times, when you've asked him about some of the very outrageous things which have been said by some of the BJP MPs in Karnataka, he says, I will talk to him. I will talk to him and make him see sense. Yediyurappa has never really been seen as a communal leader, as one who's fanning the flames of Hindutva. He's very, very different that way. That may also not have fitted in perfectly with what the BJP wants in Karnataka.
So shift in their ideological stand as well.
In the long term, because elections are becoming more and more personality driven, whether it's the national polls or local polls, if you don't have a strong state leader, the BJP becomes weak.
Right.
I mean, why is it not able to take on Mamata Banerjee in West Bengal? Because it just simply lacks a good local face. Yeah. Why are they so strong in UP? It's not only because of Modi, it's also because of Yogi Adityanath.
And that's the difference in the Congress this time. They have strong local leaders.
That's right.
And then, of course, was supplemented by the
by the national leadership.
What I find
So if they don't build up, Yediyurappa has now passed his prime, he's gone, so you build up a new, but you have to build up a good, strong local leadership to be able to grow and retain power.
Sanjay, if it's interesting that Jagdish Shettar on the one hand is not leading. He's whereas Lakshman Savathy is. So it's just a point. So I mean, we may have overplayed the Shettar.
There's a difference between Shettar and Savathy. See, Shettar belongs to a certain subsect which does not influence the electorate in the neighboring constituency. But Sawadhi belongs to Modi's own subsect.
Right.
Right, which is the reason he's more influential. So he's influencing 8 seats in that belt. It's a kind of horseshoe kind of formation.
Are you surprised about Shettar?
No, I'm not surprised about this. Was known. Shettar on his own, I don't think ever had the ability to pull crowds. So I'm not surprised about Shettar.
So Rajat Ulagadimat, who was the Congress potential candidate who could have been fielded against Shettar had Shettar contested from the BJP, was sharing that they had prepared for anti-incumbency against Shettar. They'd really worked hard in that thing, and now they had to transfer that whole thing back to Shettar. We don't know what the final thing is going to be, but it's, and also in terms of nature, the difference is that Belgaum is very different from Hubli Dharwad. Hubli Dharwad is the core, hardcore BJP. The base where the party cadre is extremely strong.
And Veera, it was a subsect election. You should never forget that. And if the BJP is retaining 80 seats, even after making all these changes, I will give them full credit.
So Rajiv Gowda has just sent a message, Ankit, to say that when you're mentioning Professor Gowda, please mention which Gowda you're talking to. There are 2 Gowdas here on the show. Please.
Kind of it. I meant when we are trying to analyze BJP's moves in Karnataka, as if there's a well worked out theory that let's not have any leaders, the whole thing is pliable to the centre's command. I think we do them. I think it's more complex, because if you have no leaders, people will get out of the party and emerge as leaders independently. I think the party will do different kinds of talk. If you recall, Dharmendra Pradhan said Bomma is going to be the next chief minister. They shouldn't speak like that if they were trying to have a party without leaders.
No, but BJP has always done that, right?
Yeah, they will speak different kinds of
I just wanted to go across to NDTV Sunil Prabhu, who's outside the residence of DK Shiv Kumar, one of the key players of the Congress party, obviously. Are we now, Sunil, in that stage where we need to start talking about Shiv Kumar versus Siddaramaiah, because the numbers at this stage seem very positive for the Congress?
Well, that is definitely something that we have to keep in mind. Mr. D.K. Shiv Kumar has made it quite clear that he would definitely like to be a possible candidate. Of course, it will all be dependent, as we've been saying right through this election, on how many MLAs do they have in terms of support of them. The observers will be sent. There is, of course, a long way off, and we'll have to wait till they cross that magic number. But please be clear. There are 2 people who are really in the fray. One is in interviews to NDTV that he has been the PCC chief from 3 years ago, worked tirelessly during the last 3 years to build the party, and has made no bones about the fact that he should be considered, and has always said that he will go by the High Command's decision. He will be banking on the former Congress presidents, Sonia Gandhi, as well as Rahul Gandhi, to intervene. Mr. Karge, who's already here in Bangalore, will send a team of observers to ascertain once, of course, the results are out. But definitely, D.K. Shiv Kumar, who has been the man here, and we are expecting him in a short while. At around 10 o'clock is what he says he'll come down. He's been with his family members and been waiting and closely monitoring and speaking to many of the people across the counting centers to ensure that they be careful and see that there is no foul play at the last minute. So they are still on their guards and they're hoping, but Mr. D.K. Shiv Kumar has made no bones about the fact that he aspires to be the CM, and more importantly, that he has helped the party in the last 3 years build its base and try to resurrect the Congress's prospects here in the state of Karnataka.
Okay. All right, there's a tweet from the Congress party which is coming in, and this should be interesting. It says, "I'm invincible, I'm so confident. I'm unstoppable today." So this is a declaration of victory as far as the Congress. Was this Rahul Gandhi or just the Congress handle?
it's Congress handle, but with Rahul Gandhi's picture and Katy
Bharat
Perry's,
Jodo mentioned over there as well.
And they've used Katy Perry's song's lyrics at this moment, feeling quite confident. Mr.
That's
Rahul
something
Gandhi.
else that we've learnt about Ankit today. He likes Katy Perry.
I like music, Vishnu, all kinds of music. Elections are also good music for me to hear, but at this moment, Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra, because it was, Aarti, even when the Bharat Jodo Yatra went through Karnataka, it was possibly one of the states which it saw the maximum footfall as far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned. I mean, that was a huge number of people. Poor Mr. Siddaramaiah had to run with Mr. Rahul Gandhi at that moment in his vestie as well. But this also, the Congress trying to give credit to Mr. Rahul Gandhi as it was expected, but the local leadership, and more than Mr. Rahul Gandhi, it's Priyanka Gandhi who has held the entire campaign there for the Congress.
No, absolutely. But, I mean, this is the problem with the Congress. They cannot get over their whole, obsession with having to build up Rahul Gandhi, whatever happens. Okay. And if they lose, then, of course, Rahul Gandhi is
then it would have been Mr. Kharge.
Then it would have been Mr. Kharge, Siddaramaiah, Shiv Kumar, and so on. So, but this is where I think the Congress is making a mistake, because honestly, they must credit the local leadership.
True.
It is important. It is important to build up the morale of your cadre. Ultimately, you win an election if your cadre is enthusiastic, if your organization is good. So, I mean, it's not just one leader. It has to be teamwork.
And I think it's also a little early in the day to declare it, given that it's bordering between 112, 170.
That's right. Yes,
so
absolutely.
Look, there are about 30 seats, from what I gather, which are reporting very, very low margins. Now, this can shift. I'm not saying that the whole trend can change, but as far as the Congress is concerned, given that, the numbers have to be well above the mark that we are seeing on our screens now, it may not be the time to declare. We have Neeti Jain as well, Vishnu?
Yeah, we've got Neeti Jain of the Congress Party with us.
BJP.
Of the BJP with us. Thanks, ma'am, very much for being with us. Neeti, if you look at these numbers at 114, the BJP at 82, I mean, do you sense right now that it's essentially over for you? I mean, even because the gap is too large, for no other reason.
No, I think I would still wait before I call this election. It is too early. The EVMs have just about started opening up about half an hour back. So I think I would wait before calling this election. The second thing, I was just listening you guys discuss that the BJP has a dearth of leaders. I think you're entirely wrong on that, because the BJP leaders have collectively, as a party, fought a very difficult campaign in Karnataka, a very high-pitched campaign in Karnataka. On the other hand, the Congress probably has a problem of having too many leaders, and that would play out in the subsequent days as well. We have seen that happening in a lot of states earlier, and it would probably be working out in Karnataka as well. So how is that a drawback for us? Difficult for me to understand. The third point being, I think we're performing in a lot of segments in Karnataka. I think we're doing pretty well, and like I said, I'd still wait before I call this election in entirety at this point.
Right, those pictures also on your screen. I think a short while ago we were playing pictures of Congress workers already joining the Queen's Road
and all
office.
The political leaders are in temples today and mandirs today. Priyanka Gandhi in Delhi. Then who did we see earlier on?
You saw Kumaraswamy going to the temple.
And there was a third leader as well.
I was told DK Shiv Kumar went to the Tiruvannamalai temple yesterday. Well, they're all praying. They're all praying to gods, and if the results are a hung assembly, they'll be praying to the Gaudas. So you see, you pray to the gods in the morning for a good result, and when you don't get the result, you go pray to the Gaudas. That's Karnataka's way of working, in terms of this. But you see, these images, and I think 116. And I quickly want to get Aarti and Maya.
Okay, that's Mr. Kumaraswamy.
That's Kumaraswamy as well. I think this was a little earlier in the day, about 15-20 minutes ago. I think these pictures, these are not live pictures, but those pictures that we were seeing at the Congress office.
One disadvantage also that Mr. Kumaraswamy always, or the JDS always had, unlike the BJP and the Congress who had slew of leaders on the ground, plus many coming in from national leadership as well, it was a one-man machinery going across the entire state campaigning for his party wherever he had to. So that's one disadvantage, at least, that Mr. Kumar.
What you and I saw as a disadvantage, the people on the ground felt one man struggling for a party's fate. and that actually went down very well. And he's 150 speeches.
Yeah.
3 times out of anyone else.
Yeah.
And across 4 months.
Before the Congress and the BJP started campaigning, he had gone round the state twice.
Yeah.
With
It's
2 of his
incredible.
yatras.
And he's had a bypass. It's public knowledge that he's doing all this, and it actually has enhanced the allure.
And also
of
in terms
the
of resources, substantially lower than the 2
In
national
every
parties.
interview he said that. We can't match them. We can't match them as far as the resources are concerned.
You know what would be interesting, Ankit and Veera, is in fact, Veera, why don't you take us through some of the regions right now? We focused a lot on the leaders, and we'll come back to that. And let's see if there are changes in the last 10, 15
Before we
minutes.
start the regions graphic, I just wanted a quick question from this graphic that's there.
Bangalore.
Look at this, BJP, Rajiv Gowda, for all your RWA campaign, Bangalore seems to be having a nice BJP stamp on it at the moment, because Bangalore, the BJP seems to be gaining. And I'm not comparing 2019 to 2023. I'm comparing 2018 to 2023. BJP 16 seats in Bangalore up, and this is where the Prime Minister campaigned extensively. The Congress down by 5 seats. I'm trying to figure out which are those seats, because it'll be important for the Congress as well. There's several top leaders there in Bangalore. JDS down by 2 seats.
Rajiv, would you like to come in on that? Bangalore? Rajiv, can you hear us?
Too much attention to at this stage.
Yeah, go ahead.
For example, who is this other who is leading? I mean, this is practically no others who have an opportunity to lead. I do think that Congress had 12. We expect it to go to 16, 17 this time. And I expect the BJP to come down and JDS to come down to maximum 1. So I do think these are misleading numbers at this stage. Let's not put too much, weight to them. However, I just want to comment on something earlier when you were talking about Rahul Gandhi's yatra. I just want to point out that yatra really energized the Congress party in Karnataka, and that's what has led to the kind of extraordinary campaign that you've seen across the state. The unity amongst every leader and staying on message, focused on economic issues, and of course the BJP's corruption. So a positive agenda, everything was triggered fundamentally by that yatra, which really energized every one of us here in Karnataka.
Rajiv Gowda, can I just ask you, sir, one fundamental question as far as the Congress party is concerned in that aspect? There is a model sort of election campaign that the Congress ran in Karnataka. Local issues were focused on. When Rahul Gandhi came, he did not pick up on the issues that he has been talking about nationally. He was exposed less than other leaders. There were other leaders, those who have come in. But with the Congress now putting out Twitter videos and everything, crediting Mr. Rahul Gandhi, is that a mistake that the Congress is making? Because every time there is a direct comparison between Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi, that's where the BJP feels it has its greatest advantage.
See, the victory belongs to every Congress worker, every Congress leader, and to Mr. Rahul Gandhi as well. So I don't see any mistake here at all, and I don't think credit is being allocated in that particular manner. It's an extraordinary team effort led by Mr. Gandhi, Mr. Kharge, Priyanka Gandhi, Siddaramaiah, Shiv Kumar, everyone. And every one of them deserves maximum credit for this wonderful campaign that's giving us victory in a few hours.
Rajiv, let me ask you the question that if these numbers hold, we will have to ask maybe for over the next 24 hours. Who is it going to be the chief minister? I mean, is it going to be DK Shivkumar, Siddaramaiah? What's your bet on?
I don't get into that issue at all.
So you don't bet, you're not a betting man?
I have a
You're not
chance
willing
to
to
choose
tell us
the leader. But between our MLAs and the High Command, you will have an answer in the next couple of days.
You know, there's something that's interesting which has come in. There are no more postal leads that we are looking at. So we are done and dusted as far, Maya, with postal leads are concerned. So what we're looking at now are just round leads. And so with round leads, the Congress is at 115. So
120 now.
It's 120.
119, in fact.
So, Maya, any thoughts on that? That, the early phases are, it's over. It's not even 10 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, postal ballots.
We're done and dusted with postal ballots.
Postal ballots are a chance to give people who are voting. Like when I went and voted at my voting booth, the young woman police officer there said, I've done through a postal ballot. So postal ballots are to make people feel happy. But in terms of numbers, it's really maybe not that significant. This is the very fact that we've come up to this figure now with the EVMs themselves.
Even with the Election Commission data, Maya,
Yes.
The Congress is at 95. They are close to 100 now.
Yes.
180 leads have come in the Election Commission data.
And with the
95 for the
BJP,
Congress, 61 for the BJP,
61.
19 for the JDS. 2 have been to independents, 1 to NCP at this moment, and 1 to KRP party, and then Sarvodaya Karnataka Paksha has also won. So Congress,
one for the BSP.
1 for the BSP. Not at this moment.
But it was up on your screen.
The EC website doesn't say that the BSP. So I'm saying that with 180 leads in the election with the election commission, Congress is close to 100 now. 95 for the Congress party.
And what again? Just to explain that figure, you see, everyone is BJP, JDS, but Congress we put it as Congress plus, and that's primarily because of Darshan Puttanaya.
That one seat where they haven't put a candidate.
In Melkote, where they've decided to support Darshan Puttanaya, Sarvodaya Karnataka Paksha, right? So that's the one seat that's there. So 119 up 39. It's quite interesting. I mean, down to 74. I mean, if these numbers hold, even if it's below 120, do you think the Congress will be comfortable?
Unlikely. I mean, they'll not be comfortable. I mean, they probably need 10 more to say that.
What does the BJP and the JDS add up to right now?
100.
101.
Plus others at 106.
Okay, very quickly.
I feel if the BJP stays in the 70s, I don't think it's going to make a serious. They may do something to just for drama, but I don't think it's going to make a serious effort to form a government.
Very quickly, we were talking about Mr. Yediyurappa since morning. His house, more or less, nobody was there. Shrija could have sent us the 7 a.m. OB and it would have played at 10 o'clock also because there was no difference at this moment. But this is Mr. Yediyurappa watching the election results along with his family members. These are visuals from inside his residence which are coming in. His son also there, Mr. Yediyurappa, watching, in fact, these results. Veeraraghav, how important this election would be for this man, credited more or less to make the party the way BJP is in Karnataka?
Look, he was a man who broke away, was this aggressive rebel in 2010, 2011, when you asked to. I think he's resigned to the fact that his time may be over in terms of politics, but he remains that, it's the shadow of Yediyurappa that remains over the BJP. There is no other state leader who can match him, and that's also primarily because of Yediyurappa himself, right?
Yes.
He didn't allow the rise of another state leader. So I think even as an opposition party, he will play a role from the outside. But I think it shifts more to his son.
Quickly
Vijayendra.
go to Shrija at this moment. She's outside. Mr. Yediyurappa inside. Shrija watching the election result, hopefully on NDTV. Let's very quickly, what's happening? Any activity now outside his residence?
Well, I'm very sorry to show you this deserted look outside Kaveri residence. You cannot see a single person right outside his residence.
Yeah.
And yes, of course, Mr. Yediyurappa is watching the results.
Shrija, you're the only one who's waiting outside Yediyurappa's gate.
Well, no, if you really want me to show you what is it like outside, we have a lot of other media persons too, but it's a very unlucky probably for us for the next few hours, or maybe once, the BJP starts picking up more numbers in more constituencies, key constituencies, maybe we will look at more leaders coming in here. But as of now, we're not really looking at much of an activity, nothing, no entertainment, no excitement up here. But of course, what we do know is that Mr. Yediyurappa is watching the counting, especially with his family members right inside his residence. On the other hand, you still have, Bombay and other big leaders, top leaders of the BJP, try to exude that confidence, saying that the BJP is winning.
Sure. Shrija, just hang in there. I'm sure there'll be some reactions in a little while from now, one way or the other. Let's go across to outside DK Shiv Kumar's residence. My colleague Sunil Prabhu over there. Sunil, we saw Bhangra in the Congress office in Delhi. I don't suppose there's Bhangra over there, but surely there must be some sort of sense of celebration now. It seems quite clear that the Congress is headed to winning these elections.
Well, I just, briefly spoke to Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, who still says that he's changed his timing from 10 to 12 o'clock because that's the auspicious time, and hopefully at around 12 he will be happy to speak to NDTV. He's made it quite clear that the Congress is doing well. Just to give our viewers an update, because of the fear of possibility of any kind of operation, they don't want to take any chances. MLAs have been asked to come by helicopter. They are being secured from various locations back in Bangalore at the earliest, so that there is really no Operation Kamla. They've been bitten once, so they're twice shy. They're not taking any chances. MLAs have been asked to come to Bangalore. They will, of course, at around 12 o'clock, we'll be able to see how things play out, get that certificate, and immediately rush to Bangalore. The party is organizing various means of transport, from helicopters to various other secure means, to ensure that
Sunil, there is an important update coming in from the Congress party, which it says that Congress feels that if the numbers stay at between 110 to 115, Congress MLAs are likely to be moved to Tamil Nadu. Like you were talking about, that if there is any outside chance of an Operation Lotus, the Congress leadership is in touch with the DMK leadership. Already the Congress being overcautious this time.
See, they have been, as I said, once bitten, twice shy. They don't want to take any chances this time round, and that's why, they are ensuring from helicopters to various other modes of transport, MLAs are brought to Bangalore, and then they will take stock. They are, however, still confident that they will cross that halfway mark. But we will wait for those final results to come in. And as I said, there are two strong contenders for the post. One is, of course, a person whose house I'm standing in, Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, and the other, is Mr. Siddaramaiah, whose son has already said, I hope that I see my father as Chief Minister. So Mr. Siddaramaiah's son has already made that pronouncement. Just to give you a flavor out here, this is his residence, and people all glued to the television here to just get an indicator of in Karnataka. So they are taking, most people.
We seem to be losing that.
Veera, do you have any hotels or resorts in Chennai? I mean, something that
I don't,
Congress could look at?
But I can tell you that this, if the numbers are at 114, it's not. This is a serious matter. It's not just about a hotel resort right now. If the numbers are this close, it's the next 5 years are going to be very eventful in Karnataka, especially after 2024. It will be very eventful in Karnataka.
But that will also depend on how much can the BJP pull. If they are not over, let's say 85, then it would be very, very difficult to break such a huge section of
77, so they're edging up to 80.
So the person, you look, when you're talking, I'm not talking of 77, 26. I mean, it's all hodgepodge, but we have Smita as well here, who's covered the Congress for many, many years. Smita, what's the number that the Congress will be comfortable with? Is there a number where the Congress says, we can now breathe easy for the next 5 years?
So if it's not that, and at this stage they may not ultimately get to 125 still, more leads coming in. How do you see this source-based information sharing now? That they're getting all of their MLA, or all of their leaders rather, across to Bangalore, and then they're going to actually fly them. They've spoken to the DMK, and so resort politics will be played out in the interim period.
Okay, Mr. Siddaramaiah there.
Varuna. There he is in his Mysore
Sorry, would you like to go on with that, Smita?
Thank you.
Right.
They have been caught unawares on several occasions, the Congress, and with DK Shivkumar there, I don't think anyone is taking any chance,
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, he's been very, very proactive with this particular election.
That's right.
And
you know, on the neighboring side, in Tamil Nadu, my home state, that's possibly where we are going to safeguard. They're going to safeguard all their Congress MLAs. Let's go across to to Pratibha as well, who has been tracking the JDS. What's the sense you're getting, Pratibha, right now? What's the mood out there? What are you hearing from the leaders out there, whoever is there?
Well, I'm stationed right outside JDS Patriarch Deve Gowda's residence, and the atmosphere seems extremely grim at this point in time. Minutes ago, we just received news that Kumarasamy, JDS leader, has entered Hotel Taj West End, and he's camping there for now. And a note of disappointment on his face as well as Mr. Deve Gowda's face, though both of them haven't spoken to the media except for Kumarasamy speaking right at the beginning of the day, where he said that the exit polls as well as the media have already predicted that BJP as well as the Congress would be scoring extremely high this election. And I'm a small man. The JDS is a very small party. But still, the JDS camp is hoping that the luck would really turn in their favor, and they would emerge as playing a major role in this particular election. But a wait and watch game at this point in time.
Sanjeev Ratna Singh also with us, our former colleague. Great to see you back in the NDTV studios, Sanjeev. How do you actually read this? Because the sense that we are increasingly getting in the last 15-20 minutes is that even if the Congress translates these leads into results, it will be narrow, which is a great achievement for them. However, there is that insecurity, because the second piece of information is that they're going to be flying their leaders across to Chennai, perhaps even tonight. Your thoughts?
Well, you know, post 2014, such small margins have always, made the opposition parties not very confident about the numbers. So, we've seen that happen in Madhya Pradesh and in Rajasthan also as well. So, I think right now what should be more important for the Congress is current trends show that they're leading. So, they have to get the house in order. They have two big state leaders, and they have one big national leader from Karnataka. So they need to keep those political ambitions in check and have some sort of a semblance of power sharing between these leaders, like they've had in the in the run up to the campaign as well.
Sanjeev, just because you mentioned Rajasthan as well, in that comparison with Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, the difference was that in Madhya Pradesh, Mr. Kamal Nath and Digvijay Singh were not able to hold a certain area, or the entire area was left to Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia, and that is why he was able to take comfortably a lot of people. Contrast that with Rajasthan, where Ashok Gehlot has more or less, some sort of acceptance across the state. Similarly, they have a very strong leadership in the state of Karnataka as well, with DK Shivkumar acting as the Chanakya for them, or a troubleshooter for them, not only in Karnataka but outside states as well. Should the Congress be really that worried?
Well, it's all about getting the balance right? There was a BJP when there was Atal Bihari Vajpayee and LK Advani both, and they managed. So it's about how you balance these things. In Madhya Pradesh, it had gone wrong. Yeah. In Rajasthan, it seems to be going wrong for the Congress. Therefore, there's every reason to think that, unless the Congress gets its act together in Karnataka as well, what you've been saying, what Veera has been saying, could hold true after a few months, especially after the 2024 Lok Sabha elections.
Chandan, go ahead.
Yeah, no, this factor about managing factionalism within the party, if you look for signs that the party is already addressing that, you saw a video of the two of them having a leisurely chat. Did you see that? Released a week before the elections.
3 days before the election.
I'm not sure whether it was leisurely or both of them were sitting over there, or rather looking on grumpily, as one made a message saying that we are great friends.
As a campaign message, it was very, very important.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And then the campaign manifesto, both of them took the Chamundeshwari temple and placed it before the goddess, saying, we shall implement our manifesto promises should we come to power. Both of them together, putting the manifesto on the priest's plate, etc. I think they know there's a problem, and they know they have to address it, and this is too precious an election for them to again give in to bickering inside and just let go. I think a lot is at stake here.
You have to factor in how the BJP is going to react to this kind of outcome. Would they really be interested in forming a kind of unwieldy coalition government with just 75 odd seats? 1 year before the national elections, because their focus now is on 2024.
Absolutely.
And it is absolutely critical that the BJP win as many seats as possible from Karnataka. Last time they virtually swept the state. So I think that is really critical. And if the BJP doesn't play, then I think the Congress is reasonably safe for the moment.
True.
For the moment.
And also, there are these reports and talks about Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. We cannot take him away as far as the equation is concerned in Karnataka. He's going to be a very, very important factor. He's also the national president now. That somewhere this leadership issue and who is going to be the chief minister has already been settled. There is, both of them have been made to sit down, have been told how and what and how important they are going to be in scheme of things if the Congress wins.
Well, DK Shiv Kumar has said he would be happy to work with Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge as chief minister. Mallikarjun Kharge has come so close to being chief minister several times over the years. Not quite made it, but come very close. But he has also indicated, look, I'm in a very senior position in Delhi. It may not be worth my while to kind of come back to the state and be chief minister here. We've got Parameshwar also, who's Dr. Parameshwar, who'd also very much love to be chief minister.
Right.
There are several people in the Congress who are coming out openly and saying it. Of course, what the High Command decides, but many of them are coming out and saying, I'd like to be considered.
But Maya, that's a little too late to be doing that. The Congress posters only had these two people everywhere.
Yes,
I mean, for you to say I want to be a CM,
these are really long shots.
And funny thing about the Congress is like Mr. Kharge would not want to come to the chief minister's post. There was a chief minister who they wanted to be the president, who did not want to leave his chief minister's post in Rajasthan and become the president of the party.
Just half a second. I wanted to go across to Professor James Manna, who's with us at this stage. Professor Manna, absolutely fascinating elections. And Shama Mohammed of the Congress with us. But Professor Manna, let me come to you first. From these leads, and it's sort of been hovering around this for a while, and we're already into the fourth round of counting, not to very many seats, but increasingly large number of seats. Do you believe that the Congress will be in a position with its allies to form a government with a narrow majority? Do you think that's where we are headed? And if that is the case, then is it going to be a cakewalk for them to form the government, or do you believe that they would have reason to feel insecure even with that?
With these numbers, it will be straightforward and easy for Congress to form a government. The question then is whether that government can withstand any attempts at enticing defectors in a pattern that we've seen a lot of across India, but twice in Karnataka over recent years. It's a pity that that sort of question comes up now after a party apparently gets a majority, but that's the way Indian politics goes these days. But I expect them to be able to form a government. The issue of whether Mr. Sitaramaya, Mr. Shiva Kumar takes the leadership needs to be sorted out. It probably has been sorted out. The unity Congress has displayed throughout this election will probably persist. The BJP's numbers are so low that an operation to entice people away from the majority would be very taxing. And there is, of course, 2024 to think about. They have to bear in mind the need for seemly, not unseemly behavior between now and then. So I think Congress is probably in with a reasonable chance at a good run.
Okay, there are some visuals from the Congress office in Bengaluru. Celebrations there. People have already started playing Holi. I can see a lot of color being put on each other's face. We'll just put those visuals out. The Congress quite confident, very, very happy. It has happened after a long time.
Shama Mohammed as well of the Congress.
You've got Shama Mohammed of the Congress as well. Shama, what's the sense you're getting? It doesn't seem to be still very comfortable where you can breathe very easy at the moment. You may have crossed the halfway mark in terms of leads at the moment, but it's still just 5 over the halfway mark.
Yeah, I know that, CB. Excuse me. By 12:31, it will firm up. But what I see is we will get a majority. I'm sure of it as it's going, and also there's a difference. Ours is like around 46% right now, the vote share. So I feel it will go up, and we will get a full majority. It's not looking uncomfortable at all. Yes, so I know it's early, but by 12:31, yeah.
So what happens next? If it's a narrow majority, are you worried about efforts to poach your leaders, your winners? Are you going to be taking them out of the state? Because that's what we are hearing. Is that going to happen soon?
See, I think very important is next year is the Lok Sabha election, and the people understand when Mr. Modi and Bharatiya Janata Party should respect the people's mandate if we have got the majority. Because if you do not respect again the people's mandate, then people will lose hope and faith in you for next year. Now the issues why it looks good for us, because we fought on the positive, our campaign was positive, and on the positive issues we fought, like, you know, unemployment, there are issues there, mehengai, price rise, corruption. So, and let me tell you one very important point. I also feel when I was in Karnataka, the Bharat Jodo had made a lot of effect also over there, of Rahul ji walking throughout Karnataka and everybody joining him, and him meeting a lot of people from different parts of, different phases of life and different aspects of life. So that has made a difference, I feel, a lot, you know.
But Shama, isn't it not, given that, the victory has come down, doesn't majority of the credit go to the Congress state leadership, keeping it completely local in terms of a campaign narrative? Maybe not the moment to speak about the Bharat Jodo Yatra? Just wondering.
No, I think, see, we must always, he has walked more than 4,000 kilometers, and nobody is denying that the state leaders, of course the state leaders should be given credit, nobody is denying that. I think we should give credit to the Congress party as such, everybody is involved, and I should also give maximum credit to the people of Karnataka who have voted for us. That should be the thing, that the people have faith in you and people believe in your positive campaign rather than divide and rule. And I think that would end one day, this sort of divide and rule campaign. That's
Shama,
the
just hold on for
positive
a second.
campaign.
That's Mr.
And let
Siddaramaiah
everybody
at this
get
moment.
credit.
Just Mr. Siddaramaiah at this moment. The media trying to get in a word from him, the man of the moment. Very, very important. Two houses, DK Shiv Kumar, where Sunil is, and Mr. Siddaramaiah at this moment, with this waiting whether he speaks or not. Meanwhile, even with the election commission result, leads 212 leads so far, the Congress and allies are at 101. So there also Congress inching closer to the majority mark as far as the election commission leads are also concerned, with a vote percentage of 43.42% and the BJP at a vote percentage of 36.39%.
Ankit, just to say, I know you pointed it out earlier as well, Siddaramaiah's son, Yatindra, Dr. Yatindra, who gave up the seat for Siddaramaiah in Varuna this time, who's the sitting MLA there. He has apparently told reporters that my father must be chief minister. I think maybe to ask Shama Mohammed, do you know who's going to be the chief minister if the Congress numbers are going to hold?
No.
Lovely visual.
I think we have something called the CLP, and they will decide. We are not a party who comes in, tells the MLAs that you cannot decide the chief minister, like what happened in Gujarat. You also what happened in Gujarat. Many MLAs were asked to resign, ministers were asked to resign, and then suddenly a new chief minister was planted from Delhi. There is no CLP meeting. They don't ask MLAs, nothing like that.
Just like
Ours will be
while the studios and
consensus.
analysts can speak about who's going to the chief minister and be worried about it, Mr. Siddaramaiah right now is having a cup of tea. He's not worried about what is going to happen here.
Has said.
Coffee.
I know what Mr. Siddaramaiah has said, because he's just given a soundbite to ANI where he says that this is Yatindra Siddaramaiah to ANI, confident of a majority, don't think we'll need any other parties alliance.
That's the one where he's declared that his father has to be chief minister.
That's right. That's his son speaking. In case one doesn't get a majority, our Delhi and state leaders will decide the course of action.
So given
I saw
this,
Siddaramaiah at this stage with him on the screen.
But Vishnu, I think the slender margin, the reason why the slender margin is important, and this is to our panelists as well as to Shama, I'll possibly take Tushar first on this. Given the slender margin of 117 for the Congress and the fact that you have two strong chief ministerial aspirants within the party, is that a worry for the Congress? This has been a two-horse race, and both of them, knowing them, at a personal, both strong, aggressive personalities who want to get their pound of flesh eventually. So, what do you say?
It's not every day that you come across a party that has the majority number and still has to move its MLAs to a different state. There is certain degree of insecurity, there is certain degree of differences amongst the two leaders, but I think the Congress will iron those out. It's too big a state, too important an election for them to lose it to the to repeat a Madhya Pradesh for that matter.
Okay.
But does that also, Tushar, says a lot about how the politics under Prime Minister Narendra Modi from 2014 has changed? That opposition party, despite crossing the halfway mark, no matter what they have, this is exactly the allegation that the opposition keeps making, that the BJP uses every resource to try and make sure that they, no matter who wins the election, they form the government.
Look, you know, if your MLAs are jumping ship, the problem is not with the opposition party, it's with your ship. So today, if the MLAs...
It's with the MLA, I would say.
The MLAs are the problem. Why are the Congress MLAs willing to jump ship even now? At 117, 118, the Congress should be celebrating. But they are moving the MLAs elsewhere. Why?
Tushar, because I can tell you the Congress has a list of BJP MLAs who are ready to jump ship. This is happening across
Operation
parties.
Hasta versus Operation Lotus.
Who has the edge? Who has the edge between DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah? And let's go through this. I mean,
age
at
factor.
110, 112.
Veera, I mean, I would sort of, try to set a cat among the Congress pigeons. I will say if Congress is looking at 2024 national campaign, and if it's really determined to come back nationally, it should signal a Dalit as chief minister. That is what I think they should do.
He could be the dark horse
Muniappa is a
actually in this
left
entire
Dalit.
race. Mallikarjun Kharge.
Muniappa, a left Dalit who has won 6 terms as a Lok Sabha.
Parmeshwar is also there.
Parmeshwar is there, and he's contesting from Devnalli this time. Muniappa. There is Kharge, there is Parmeshwar.
I don't think that will make any effect nationally. I mean, ultimately, if you make somebody like Kharge, the government may not even last, beyond 2024.
I think it is
I'll tell you
interesting,
why.
however, that in terms of the narrative in these elections, the contrast in the narrative has been quite different. The Congress is focused on local issues, employment issues, but it's not that the BJP hasn't, but their take was infrastructure development at a long. But if you compare what the BJP and their narrative, and keep the Hindutva business out for a moment, it's the BJP's narrative which appears not to have been as convincing, Tushar.
Well, it's at 80 seats and 36% plus vote share. I wouldn't say that the BJP's narrative has not been convincing. I wouldn't rule that out. I think they still got the vote share they normally get in the state assembly elections. But have the people voted differently for a state leadership rather than a national leadership? That is what the margins will tell us in another couple of hours. But I wouldn't go as far as saying that the BJP's narrative wasn't convincing enough. I think the incumbency hurt them. That factor of no single largest party coming back to make a majority, that hurt them. But I wouldn't say that the BJP's narrative wasn't convincing. I wouldn't go that far.
I think also the whole double engine approach that implied threats almost, that if you don't vote for the BJP, we won't have the blessings of Prime Minister Modi. I think that double engine approach did backfire in some ways, because many people did say you can't do this.
To NDTV's Manish Kumar, who's been waiting very patiently. Manish, go ahead, give us a sense of what's happening around you.
Right now we are inside the BJP office and everybody is glued to the TV channels, especially the regional TV channels, where the numbers, the trends are coming much faster than what the national channels are showing. It's a fluctuating numbers, but of course the BJP leaders as well as the their workers are worried because there is a comfortable gap of almost 30 seats, which is fluctuating between 30 to 40 seats between Congress and BJP. So somewhere they are resigned to the fate that their hope of emerging as the biggest party or the largest party like last time has not come true. Also their hope of hung assembly is also not turning out to be the way they wanted, because Congress is somewhere 110 plus if you see the trend so far. Of course it's a fluctuating, varying across the different regional channels. But as far as BJP leaders are concerned, there are Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar is inside the office, and there are other leaders also, but all of them have just glued to the TV sets, and they have promised that they will react only once they get the trends very clear. But somewhere they are really worried that this election has not turned out to be turned out the way they wanted, and somewhere all their hopes and the way they were projecting that Prime Minister's campaign will turn around the election for them has not is according to their expectation. But somewhere they were, even during the campaigning also, they were conceding that Congress campaign was better than BJP's campaign this time around, and somewhere that is reflecting in the trend so far. Vishnu.
Right, Manish. Manish has just given us that wrap from the BJP as we figure out.
We've got an important graphic which we're going to play out now. Let's just have that out. I think what we're trying to show is, this is a comparison, again, leads, not results, and there's still some more counting happening. But this is what it was in 2018, and we're going to see a change soon. And that is the change which has taken place. So between 2018 and now, so we just
to result.
So how Karnataka is changing colors.
Yeah, Vishnu, I think the picture really is, and I think it's important that we take note of this, and I want to take that question on Siddaramaiah, DK Shivakumar in this context as well. The map that you showed shows that the BJP has not been decimated or dropped down. It can be an extremely powerful opposition at these numbers in Karnataka, and it may be the opportunity for the party to transform itself in terms of its narratives there, and the Congress cannot breathe easy with these numbers if these numbers hold. My quick question to you, Smita, when the decision of the Chief Minister comes in these numbers, and to Maya and Smita, this is it also a question of who can hold the MLAs now together? Because earlier we've seen Siddaramaiah, being the one who, others had to play a second role to Siddaramaiah. Are we going to see a situation where you really need somebody at the top who can hold on to those MLAs strongly?
See, the thing is that, people laughed when Shama Mohammed said that the CLP, the Congress Legislature Party, will decide the leader. I think she's not entirely wrong, because the Congress national leadership is no longer as strong as in the old days when, there was that famous cartoon of Lakshman where Indira Gandhi walks past newly elected MLAs and says, "You there, what's your name? You're the next Chief Minister." I think that cannot happen anymore. So I think whoever has a larger support base among the new MLAs will stand a much better chance.
Let's just go across to Shivam Jhabra of the BJP, who's with us. Thank you very much for joining us. If these leads translate into results, then, it's not a good showing for the BJP. You won't win the election at all. But is there a prospect at all of your being in talks with the JDS, seeing what the Congress eventually gets to, and whether the two of you somehow or the other might have some sort of conversation? Is that in the realm of possibility? I ask that because there are reports that the Congress might be looking to move their MLAs away, or not MLAs, their leaders away, because they are worried about an op-Kamal.
But the problem with the Congress is that they always anticipate the situation before it happens. Now what the situation is, that it is still the trend, Vishnu. And I think let us wait for the couple of hours for the final picture to come in. Only then I would be in a better position to comment on anything substantial.
But would you?
But the fact of the matter
Shiva,
is
would you concede that? No, I'm just asking. The gap is very large now. It seems very unlikely that you'd be, even if these leads, if there's a big change, you'd be able to cross the halfway mark by yourself. Is that something that you're willing to sort of concede right now? It's a question of how much more you can do, whether you'll get into the 80s or not, but whether you can actually get to 113. Is that something the BJP can safely says now that, look, that's looking difficult?
See, so I was just looking at the graphic which were you probably airing on the show. And I think I can only say one thing, that we'll have more of saffron than the blue in Karnataka, that is for sure. The second thing what we were referring to, that what Congress party is basically fearing that they would be moving leaders here and there. And I think one of the panelists on the show also said that, there's been trend that after the BJP has come into power in the center, there has been the majority at the state level was basically not too considerate, because ultimately the BJP which has come into power in that case also. Right. I think very rightly pointed out, but I would say that, it is for the Congress party and the other opposition parties to think that why the people want to join the BJP and probably want to move away from a ruling party and then join hands with the BJP.
Sir,
that is for them to see, not for the BJP.
More saffron, I think you were looking at the 2018 figure, sir. Right now, it's looking more blue at this moment. As far as the map of Karnataka is concerned, let me very quickly give an important update, viewers. Even the Election Commission is now catching up. 217 leads for the Election Commission, and there also the Congress has managed a majority. 112 for the Congress, 1 for their ally. Congress is standing at 113 in the Election Commission data as well. Just as a word of caution, if leaders are saying that they would like to believe only the Election Commission numbers. So even the Election Commission, out of 217 leads, is giving Congress a clear majority at this moment, though it is at 113 itself. Shama Mohammed, by when is the Congress party in a situation where you will start talking about what to do from here? The CLP meeting, the oath-taking ceremony, who becomes the chief minister, all that will start happening.
Yeah, before I come to that, the gentleman from the Bharatiya Janata Party said even the Congress people are talking about moving them out. I have not heard it till now. You anchors and people sitting in the studio were discussing it. I have heard nothing about it. Number two, as we are very clear how, because we were sure we would get a majority. Every exit poll, everybody knew that, and when you go into Karnataka also you'll understand it. So of course we have a plan how to go about it, and it will come out as soon as we get the clear picture. By 12:31, we'll get a clear picture, and then of course things will be, the AICC as well as the state leadership will sit together and plan what has to be done and how it has to be done.
Let's just go across and take a look at the regions, because I think this tells one of the most fascinating stories. So if we can just go through the regions graphic and take a look at this, because it's South Karnataka, which is so very interesting in terms of the Congress leads over there. But what is also interesting is the West. So, but firstly, Bangalore. And this is where the Congress, where the BJP has, and it continues, Veera, to lead the Congress over here.
And up 7 seats. That's actually a huge shift.
That's a shift.
Because you see, and this is in comparison, at the moment in 2019, BJP had 15 seats. But in 2018, it was Congress which had 15 and 11. So I'm wondering who the big
Congress believes that this is going to change, but at this stage, frankly...
No, I think it's doubtful that it's going to really reverse completely.
Change completely. But what about this? Let's shift to the next region and take a look. This is Kalyan. This is where the BJP is down 3, the Congress marginally up. So it's the JDS, which interestingly the JDS, there's no change in terms of lead so far. So just 1 up. So this is not where the Congress is.
And I'm just pointing out, since we started the day with Priyank Kharge trailing, Priyank Kharge is actually leading now, and I think he seems to be comfortably leading at the moment in Chittapur. That's another seat, but the interesting seat where what I found in Hyderabad, Karnataka, since you're mentioning, sorry, you were talking about Hyderabad, Kalyan, Karnataka earlier, Bellary ST, where Sriramulu, I thought he was, from the data I have here, it shows he's trailing. We can just reconfirm.
It's Kittur again. This is an area where the Congress has done
huge gains. Huge gains,
and the BJP down 15, the Congress up 15.
So this is the Lingayat bastion. This is the BJP's core area of influence, right?
Huge gain for the Congress.
It's a huge BJP area, but it's not just a Lingayat area because it's controlled mostly by the ST, the Jarkholis and others.
Yeah.
So
earlier, Mr. Ramesh Jarkholis was trailing.
Yes, and Jarkholis and DK Shivkumar at loggerheads.
Yeah.
So they have been fighting each other quite at a personal level as well.
I just wonder.
So I think that's an interesting thing.
Ramesh Jarkholis still trailing. Congress is leading in
This will be music to the ears, especially for Mr.
Sorry, Chandan?
Lingayat vote has definitely mattered there.
But on that, Professor Gaurav,
shifting from the BJP to Congress.
Would it have made difference if Yediyurappa was still on the ticket for the Bharatiya Janata Party?
Yeah, plus these two people not being shown the door. There are multiple factors working. Right? I believe the fact that the BJP was able to dispense with so many Lingayat leaders and issue statements.
No, but the Shetter factor, we don't know if it's really had a big impact.
Because this is also
that is one constituency.
So you see, Hubli Dharwad Central per se, Shetter is trailing, BJP is leading, and that was pretty clear in terms of the party vote. But the larger optics of it, since 91, Maya, quickly, since 91, you've not seen the Congress go after the Lingayat vote. I mean, it has reiterated that, look, I have MB Patil there in Bableshwar, we have a Lingayat leader, but it hasn't gone on an aggression after the Lingayat vote. This time you saw Rahul Gandhi going camping, going around to this one. So you think
Siddaramaiah did try when he started talking about a separate religion for the Lingayats last time and trying to focus on them, which did backfire in a way, didn't really work then. This time I think they did capitalize. Yes, Jagdish Shettar may be trailing, but even a small difference could make a big difference, if you know what I mean, in a strongly Lingayat area. Right. So the fact that, and of course Lakshman Sawadi as well, and Yediyurappa.
Yeah, he's leading. Lakshman Sabdi is leading. He's able to beat Mahesh Kumtali.
All of this, plus the combination of Yediyurappa, who will always be the very first BJP chief minister in Karnataka and in South India. Yeah. The fact that he is no longer active, even if you don't look at him as being sidelined, even if you look at him as being retired, he still is not right there in the center stage.
Okay, Maya, just half a second. We wanted to listen in to what Yatindra Siddaramaiah has to say, the son of Mr. Siddaramaiah, the chief ministerial aspirant, possibly the next chief minister. But let's just listen in to what Yatindra has to say.
Son, definitely I would like to see him as a chief minister, but as a citizen of, citizen of this state, I think in the last regime he had given very good governance, and this time also if he becomes a chief minister, whatever the corruption and the misrule the BJP government had given, those things will be get corrected by him. So in the interest of the state also, I think he should become CM.
GVL Narasimha Rao of the Bharatiya Janata Party is joining us at this moment. GVL, Nora, at this moment doesn't seem like the morning that you would have wanted to come on television with, the kind of, at least at this moment, the Congress firmly looking to form the government as far as Karnataka is concerned, sir.
Good morning to you and all the viewers. The results certainly, you see, though they are not encouraging for us, they are not as bad they were projected earlier to be. Our vote share also from the Election Commission data, which you can see, we have not only retained our vote share, may have actually marginally improved. But you need to wait for a couple of hours to really know what the final numbers are going to be, because the numbers on your screen clearly show that the Congress has just touched the halfway mark. Whether it will stay there, whether it will slip back to 105 as we have seen before, and that will tell you the final story. Because the polls and the general mood of the media was there will be a runaway victory for the Congress party, and that has certainly not been the case in the election trend so far.
GVL, another factor which is interesting, and we are trying to get our own data on this, but what I am told is that 33 seats have a very low margin at this stage, and that 59 seats presently might just have a margin of approximately 1,000 or less than 1,000. This being the case, do you suspect that there is scope for a change going forward as more rounds of counting continue?
Yeah, so you see, for the final numbers might be a few seats more or less than what is being shown currently. But the general direction of the outcome, I don't think is likely to change from what I have seen so far, because it's already some 3-4 rounds of counting have happened. But the numbers, you see, if the winner were to have a big lead, the outcome would not be very different even after 14 rounds of counting. But here, the party ahead in the race, the Congress is just on the verge of a majority, which can very well slip back by 10 seats when the final results come. So we need to still keep our fingers crossed.
So we were just playing out a graphic with the close contests, and it was extremely interesting, that the graphic that was just played out before this, and it's really telling of the nature of the contest that's going on. And some of those are really, really important seats. You take Channapatna, JDS, BJP, 93 is the vote margin, 93 votes. This is HD Kumaraswamy versus CP Yogeshwar. Kolar, JDS versus BJP. This is the seat that Siddaramaiah wanted but did not get eventually. It's become JDS versus BJP battle. Look at Hassan, JDS versus BJP battle. These are bastions of the JDS. Melkote, SKP Congress versus JDS. Its vote margin is 126. Biligi, this is Murugesh Nirani's seat, sitting Industries Minister. Congress versus BJP, the difference is just 140. Maddur, again in Mandya district. Congress versus JDS, 162 vote difference. Look, these are important. I think the lesson that's coming really, ultimately when you get down to it, given these close contests, is going to show you that it's been a real hard battle in that JDS Heartland A. And you don't know how the numbers are going to change eventually.
But at this moment, in these close seats,
59
more leads
seats
are in favor for the Congress and JDS than the Bharatiya Janata Party, even in this close margin seats.
That's right. But the margins are so close, you don't know who is going to be in favor of at the end of the day.
We're talking about what is there at this moment.
Yeah.
So it's 59 seats with a margin of less than 1,000 votes. 59, that's a very large number of seats with a margin of less than 1,000 votes. Sanjeev, if you look at seats with very narrow difference, 59 seats with a margin of less than 1,000, how important is this when we look at the overall outcome or potential outcome of these?
See, you have to look in totality. Votes are being counted, EVMs are coming out, and then the more votes will be counted. So if you look overall, then of course, most likely these trends will hold, the trends that you're seeing. And as more and more EVMs will open, more votes will come in. So the percentage of this is going to go down and the number of votes is going to go up. So I think more or less the trend will hold. And this happens in every election because counting is still on.
But Sanjeev, when you have seats which have 60 votes or 76 votes, it's very difficult to measure. And JDS, Satgowda Patil from the JDS is also joining us. Sir, Channapatna, CP Yogeshwar versus HD Kumaraswamy. At the moment, it's seeming like only a 93 vote difference between the two. Are you fighting a battle? Who is your number one enemy today? Is it the BJP or the Congress?
Both are enemies. There is no any one party. Both are enemies. And our HD Kumaraswamy is definitely he will win on margin.
GT Devagowda leads in Chamundeshwari. Sorry, we lost the line with Satgowda Patil. Can you hear us, sir?
Yes, sir. I am hearing. GT Devagowda last time he defeated Siddaramaiah ji.
All right.
And this time GT Devagowda definitely win, and also our former Chief Minister HD Kumaraswamy also win a margin votes. This is showing only for 4 to 5 rounds. After the remaining rounds, he will be the leading in his votes.
Okay, Shama, if I may bring you in at this moment, in fact, what Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao was saying, that for the Congress party, is there, if you don't touch about, let's say, 120 mark, will there be some sort of a, you will possibly form the government, but will there be disappointment in that sense? Because the feeling was that the Congress is heading, and that's what the Congress leaders were also saying, for a very big victory in Karnataka.
I'm not even thinking about it. There is no if. We are touching more than 120. I'm very confident about that. These are early figures now. By 12:31, it'll firm up. But I also want to ask GVL one thing, that just in case if they lose this election badly or whatever, will Mr. Modi take responsibility? Because he was campaigning ferociously, that's what I'm going to say, ferociously, by calling names, whatever got in religious aspect to it and everything. I want to know, if when such a defeat happens, will Mr. Modi also take responsibility? The loss happened because the Prime Minister was campaigning there. I never hear. Always when there's a victory, it's given to Mr. Narendra Modi. But when there is a loss, there is no Narendra Modi. So I believe a leader should also take responsibility for the victory as well as a loss. That is a true leader, not somebody who just comes and takes responsibility
of any political party. The loss usually becomes the state leadership, and other leaders also in the Congress are insulated from that.
That is very unfair. So why can't the win also be? Why can't the win be given to the state leadership? Why is Mr. Modi always
let him respond? Shama, you've made your point. Let him respond. You've asked the question. Let GVL respond.
Yes, I can understand Congress party's discomfort with our leadership. They get scared, mortally scared. It's okay. We have no problem. But without Mr. Modi, without the campaign of the Prime Minister, our performance would have been far below what it is today. And the so-called anti-incumbency that you talked about does not exist. Is Rahul Gandhi responsible for
So one minute, I want one
Is
thing.
Rahul Gandhi
Can I say
responsible
something?
for Manipur defeat? Is Rahul Gandhi responsible for Tripura defeat? Is Rahul Gandhi responsible for Gujarat defeat? Or Rahul Gandhi is only responsible for Karnataka victory, where he is not allowed even to campaign?
Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao, why don't you quickly reply to that?
He's saying that Kannadigas...
Shama, go ahead, reply to that. Shama, quickly, and then I have a question. Go ahead, Shama.
No. He has not replied to my question, and he's insulted Kannadigas today. He's saying the Kannadigas are nowhere. There are no Kannadigas involved in this victory. He's saying it's only about Mr.
I'm asking
Modi.
you're insulting Manipuris.
All right, I wanted to move away from.
Okay.
Let's just keep
Let's leave that for the evening.
State leaders have
There's
been insulted
plenty of
today.
that.
You get a lot of time.
Okay, Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao, I just wanted to understand one point over here. Would you accept that there is a failure or a failing of the local leadership of the BJP, and that whatever the BJP has achieved, if these leads translate into results in 73 possibly going up to 80, then it is because of what we've seen of the role of the Prime Minister, the BJP star campaigner going forward?
Vishnu, there is obviously not a single factor that operates in any election. Certainly the Prime Minister's campaign was a massive factor for the BJP's surge in votes, because our local leadership, I think you'll have to look at the way Karnataka votes. Election after election, there is always a local government or an incumbent government has always been voted out for almost 3 decades. One is that factor which operates naturally. Secondly, I think the local leadership possibly did not communicate the kind of work that was done in Karnataka. Development, you
That's
go to the
quite
people in
interesting. While GVL
Karnataka,
is speaking,
they will tell you a lot of development happened in the last 5 years.
GVL, may I just point out to what's happening outside the Congress office right now, because this was one of the key campaigns that Prime Minister started most of his rallies with Jai Bajrang Bali. The Congress workers there have come with Jai Bajrang Bali pictures, the pictures of Lord Hanuman, and they are celebrating. It seems, GVL, at this moment, Lord Hanuman, Anjaneya, has been quite kind to the Congress in Karnataka.
Ankit, when you see those images, one is a little confused on whether it's the BJP office or the Congress office where this is happening in the kind of this one. But just in the midst of all this, just to point out here, I'm taking it back to our old Mysore region and to Bangalore. These celebrations, of course, in Delhi. Nikhil Kumaraswamy is trailing, and we have Mr. Patil from the JDS here, sir. You said Mr. Kumaraswamy will win. Nikhil Kumaraswamy is trailing in Ramnagara. Mr. Kumaraswamy is fighting a very tough battle in Channapatna. Is there something worrying for the JDS in these results? Quick response before we go back into Congress versus BJP. Mr. Patil? Don't think you've got... But I think this is an important point. I mean, when you have the bastions of the JDS having trouble in that in this one.
Okay.
Well, I think that you can see, the future of Karnataka politics. I mean, I think this is really the last hurrah for the JDS, whatever it gets, with the patriarch going out and campaigning. Patriarch is going to, is in the winter of his life now. And after him, the family is going to fall apart. They're already fighting. They're fighting with each other. So, you are seeing that in future, the political landscape of Karnataka will become much like Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, where it's bipolar, Congress versus BJP.
Possible.
And that is a big change, and for the BJP, it's a huge gain, even if they lose this election. It's a huge gain for them.
And Vishnu, while putting the question across to GVL Narasimha, said, it's 72, it could possibly be 80. Vishnu, if it goes up to 80, then it's a problem on the other side. Look, so these numbers, we are only talking of 5.
It could go down for the JDS.
Possible. But JDS...
No, but still holding on to 30. They've touched to 30.
30, which means...
They're only 7 down at this moment, touched to 30. That was something that they would have been looking on.
So this is a bit of a surprise if you look in the last 1 hour, where the JDS was flagging, was actually doing They've now.
So
they've
whatever
actually
gains
improved
Congress
a
has
little
made
bit.
has made on the, largely at the behest of the BJP.
So the point that Sugata and Chandan were making in the morning, it may be a hit to the JDS, but not a body blow yet. For to go for that point that she's saying of bipolar state, it may not
bipolar
yet.
could also
Not
mean
yet.
bipolar.
I'm saying but this is probably the last hurrah for the
No,
JDS.
I have a bit of disagreement there because bipolar could also mean BJP, JDS. Right? Because the transition of leadership in the JDS happened way back in 2006. And Mr. Kumaraswamy is firmly in control. And we have seen whenever the family fights, they also have the mechanism to reconcile and come together like they did in Hassan this time. So, if they're retaining their vote share, and if the Congress doesn't come to power or something happens in between now and 2 hours from now, then there is a greater danger of the Congress splintering because the factional fight is very, very real between Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar.
Smita, would you like to come in? Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to make actually a comment on the BJP. In the years when Advani and Vajpayee were the leaders, the chief ministers of the BJP ruled states were strong people. And they allowed that. But ever since Mr. Modi came to power, you had this, people just picked out of the ranks and made chief minister. Now in Karnataka, where Yediyurappa was such a strong leader, the fact that they sidelined him, I wonder how much that has really harmed the BJP.
Yes.
And does that mean that Modi no longer has that kind of clout?
So it's primarily the problem was one step forward, 2 steps back, right? Ultimately, you asked Yediyurappa to step down, but you didn't have a plan after, which was categorical.
I have a completely different argument about that. See, this is a transitional election, which I have maintained right from the beginning. See, BJP is going to make big gains if they, even though they may not win this election, they have spread themselves across. And they're trying to capture new areas, which is very, very interesting.
I find this very, very interesting. Usually, if in any election the Congress is losing, then of course it's a decimation of the Congress party. But even if the election BJP is losing, the analysis needs to be how the BJP has gained and how things have changed and how BJP is taking it forward. This election right now is the election of the Congress party.
Let's hear what they have to say to that.
It would have been Ankit had it been a 125 plus for the Congress party. I'm saying it would have been an emphatic win. But at 117 and 71 BJP, you're still fighting you're not been droughted out.
It doesn't matter. Last time, after the incumbency, being in power for 5 years, Congress was still at 80. A similar argument could have been made for the Congress party at that point of time as well.
You're right, but Ankit, look at the numbers they got in 2013, the Congress party. They got 122. You're still lower than that. And 2018, look at the vote shares. It is data that is speaking. I'm not.
So 2018 Congress had more vote share than the BJP.
Absolutely, yeah.
The BJP has only been able to retain almost the vote share, the similar vote share. It's Congress which has gained the vote share this time.
Precisely.
All right. I think Veera wants to get another cup of coffee.
I'm going to my friend
and
Noor Ali.
He's going to his friend Noor Ali.
Yeah.
But and while he does that, let me just summarize what the overall situation is. If you look at the Congress, in terms of leads, is at 117, the BJP at 71. So while the numbers seem to indicate that the Congress might be in a position to form the government, I think the point that we've been making is one, that the numbers don't indicate a very substantive simple majority, which is why there are now reports of the Congress being a bit worried about thinking about moving their leaders across to Tamil Nadu. Also, I think the question which needs to be asked of the BJP is that with a lack of leadership at the local level being a real concern, was it the last fight back by Narendra Modi which has taken them to where they are presently?
Right.
Veera.
So, Bisibele Bath is ready. So, Bisibele Bath, which is all set. So for all of us, we will have a nice pre-lunch thing as we go along. Noor Ali, happy? Chennai diya? Results okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
He wanted Congress to win. Ask him, he's happy. I mean, he should be the first one eating the Bisibele Bath.
Noor Ali, mic इस्तेमाल कीजिए.
हाँ,
नहीं कुछ नहीं, बस बात कीजिए. हाँ, सुनाई दे रहा है.
Hello. Kushi?
ಖುಷಿ ಸರ್,
ಫುಲ್ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗಿದ್ವಾ? ನೀವು ತಿಂಡಿಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದ್ವಾ?
ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್.
Okay, Ankit, would you like to come and talk to Noor as well?
I would let Noor Ali have his moment. It is he wanted the Congress to win. His party is winning. Possibly you will taste that sweetness of the victory in what he has made for you also in the Bisibele Bath.
He has made Bisibele Bath. This is not sweet. This is spicy and nice. And idu bundi haki.
Bundi haki.
He's going to make the bundi as well, and we will serve it to you guys at this one. You see, Bisibele Bath. I think Maya may be able to explain to us better the secret of the Bisibele Bath.
I wish I knew how to cook, but let us just say it's a delicious Karnataka dish, which is a kind of a mix of everything. And it's very, very tasty, especially when it's served bisi, when it's hot.
What is the difference? Now that your Karnataka MLAs Congress MLAs may end up in Tamil Nadu, I want to know what is the difference between sambar rice and Bisibele Bath?
Everything.
What is the core difference?
Chandan, do you know how to cook sugatha?
Things like
Correct.
that.
It's a dish in itself.
Yes.
It's a dish. It's a complete dish in itself. It can have vegetables. It can have. It's just tasty. You will
Meanwhile,
understand.
our colleague Srija reporting that Siddaramaiya is presently sipping tea.
Thank you, Noor. Shukriya, thank you. Dhanyawad.
Yeah, I didn't rule it out actually even then.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's. This is very, very important. I mean, the vote change percentage that we are talking about at this moment, from 2018, there is 1% less for the Bharatiya Janata Party and 5% advantage as far as the Congress is concerned in terms of the vote percentage that is coming in at this moment. We'll just take a look. 43% for the Congress, 36% for the BJP, 14% for the JDS. So JDS is about 4% down.
So Ankit, you know what this means?
Yeah.
The BJP is in the position of Congress, getting votes all over, not seats.
Yeah.
71
so BJP
seats
has been
with
able
the same
to
vote
increase
percentage
their
last time.
footprint as far as Karnataka is concerned.
Yeah, that's strategically more important for them at this stage when they're making a leadership change.
Yeah.
So, and if they spread themselves across Karnataka, it becomes easier in the next election. And 2024 is going to depend on that.
And frankly, they won't be poaching nothing.
See, with
They'll be happy to sit in the
2024,
opposition.
because in 2019, BJP maximized it in any case. So for the BJP, it's the challenge is to retain what they were able to do in 2019. It's not that they can go over that. There were hardly two seats. I mean, BJP won everything else.
I think primarily the BJP strategy was a little different. See, they did not completely rely on caste vote. They tried to reshuffle a lot over there. They brought in a bit of Hindutva at a later stage. Then they also played up a bit of their development work. Especially Old Mysore region, they've been speaking about their eight-lane highway. And a lot of such things have happened. And if you remember the Lokniti poll, the beneficiaries were quite happy with the delivery mechanism that the state government and the central government had put in place.
Yeah.
So there are lots of other factors that are coming in. Yeah.
Professor James Barra, let me come back to you. And I just wanted your thoughts on a couple of key candidates over here, because it is quite interesting who is trailing right now. Among those trailing, V. Somanna from Rajanagar of the BJP, Jagdish Shettar, the very high-profile shift to the Congress party, but he's trailing as well. R. Ashoka of the BJP trailing in Kanakapura. H.D. Kumaraswamy, who was earlier trading, is now in the lead. Jakiroli Ramesh Lakshman Rao, he is now leading. He wasn't a little while earlier on, but other BJP VIP candidates, Madhuswamy trailing, Sriram, Renukacharya, BC Patil, they're all trailing. ST Somshekhar. Any thoughts on these leaders?
I think they may, like their party, be in trouble in the election. I should just say on Mr. Kumaraswamy that the Prime Minister gave special attention to a campaign speech in Channapatna, and that may have swung some opinion against Mr. Kumaraswamy. But the BJP leaders you're referring to are, I think, suffering the fate of their party, which frankly, it has lost this election. It has lost a lot of ground, especially in Kittur, Karnataka, or Bombay, Karnataka. It has lost ground partly because of quite poor government performance on many fronts, of which there is plenty of evidence. But also, I think the BJP has lost ground because the central leadership, national leadership of the BJP, made some mistakes, as they have done in some other state elections. They imposed a great many new faces because they wanted people in Karnataka in the party to be beholden to them so they could control the situation. They did this especially in the Lingayat areas where the risk was greatest, and the big losses of the BJP in Bombay, Karnataka indicate that was a mistake. And then by imposing the Hindutva drive, which was not just a bit of Hindutva, it was a consistent campaign over several years. And then we had some very strange rhetoric from national leaders during the campaign when the Prime Minister actually claimed that Congress would take Karnataka out of India. Nobody has ever referred to that, has ever suggested that in 50 years that I've been watching the state. Right. So I think the BJP has lost, these candidates are losing for that reason, and it's partly because of mistakes from the center.
Let's just go quickly across to the Congress headquarters in Bengaluru. We've got some footage coming in. Let's go straight across to our correspondent Srija over there. Srija, what's happening around you?
Okay, this already, of course, we see that the numbers are actually coming in. We are looking at how the Congress is much ahead of the BJP. And yes, already the celebrations have started here at Congress office on Queen's Road in Bengaluru. You have, they've brought in crackers just the minute, when the results are announced, they're going to burst these crackers. Now, that's the kind of celebration that we're already looking at. This point in time, there's holy colors that's been already smeared on the party workers. If I could talk to a person, basically, like,
who will be the CM of Karnataka?
Yeah. Yes, if you can tell me how
the Congress has already won the election, and the Bharat Jodo Yatra has done very well throughout India, and the downfall of Modi.
What do you think you're crediting this entire success, which you call it, you all have already won?
No, Bharat Jodo Yatra is the main success of this win in the Karnataka, and throughout India it is the downfall of the Modi from Karnataka state.
That's only one thing that you see.
No, we have a lot of things. In COVID time, Congress have helped a lot of Indians, and Modi people have done a lot of scams. Only that they have done all the scams. They have not benefited any public of Indians.
So here you have a lot of party workers in fact celebrating, saying that the Congress have already won. They have already, in fact, though the results are not. If I could go across to a few more, party workers here who smeared colors on them. Congress, celebrations are happening right now.
Yes, we have already started celebrations since 9:30 in the morning.
Okay, so because you were already sure of crossing the halfway mark.
Yes, this is only shown on screen, but what people mandate, we knew long back that we are going to bring Congress this time.
What do you think you credit this entire success to?
Congress Karyakartas and leaders, definitely we have
good soldiers of the party deserve this. They have fought to
see, be it the Karyakartas, the national leaders or the state leaders of Congress, we have been with the people of Karnataka since last 5 years.
All right. In fact, the Congress workers who are already celebrating, they're calling it as a win for the Congress party that has been out of power for nearly 3.5 years. Of course, they were in coalition with the JDS up until the BJP, in fact, which the Congress calls it. They had deployed something called the Operation Kamla, ensuring the toppling of the coalition government, the JDS and the Congress. So finally, you're looking at, yes, the numbers are not out yet, but of course we are looking at the trends which is showing that Congress is much ahead, having an edge over the BJP right now. But this is what we can show you right outside the Congress office. Celebrations, smearing colors, people in fact shouting slogans in support of the Congress, crediting the success to Bharat Jodo Yatra. Back to studio.
Let's shift from Bangalore to Delhi. Now Arvind Gunashekhar joins us from the Congress headquarters here. Arvind, tell us what the sense is. It's still not a comfortable, something where the Congress can, have they started breathing easy? Have they called it an election? What's the sense you're getting?
So what we are seeing on our screen now here, the celebrations here at the Congress headquarters. Party workers here are bursting crackers. They are dancing, they are playing songs and dancing here, celebrating the victory of the Congress party in the Karnataka Assembly elections. Though the party workers are celebrating here, but the party leaders who are managing the elections in Karnataka, they are very cautious because according to them, there are at least almost 24 seats where the margin is very less. According to them, it will be a tight election. That's why the party leaders are extremely cautious in calling this election. So what we are being told is that Congress General Secretary Organization, K.C. Venugopal, along with Randeep Surjewala, who is the in charge of Congress party in Karnataka, along with other senior Congress leaders, are currently in Bangalore. They are camping in Bangalore. They are in touch with the Congress candidates, the probable or the potential winning candidates of the Congress party. They want the Congress booth workers or the counting agents to be given that kind of encouragement so that they don't leave the counting booths, because according to them, this particular election will go till late in the evening. It will be a photo finish according to them, and that's why they are extremely cautious. And what we are also being told is that arrangements have also been put in place to take all the winning Congress MLAs to Bangalore. And what we are also being told is that Congress leadership has already spoken to its ally in Tamil Nadu, the DMK. So what we are being told is that there is a plan to take the Congress MLAs to Tamil Nadu if a need arises in order to keep the flock together. That's also in place. But now the Congress is watching this election very carefully. They are not calling this election already, but they want the Congress workers to be careful. They want to ensure that the Congress wins this election, but they are not taking any chances.
Calling the election, but the visuals behind you are the workers have called it an election. Celebrations are out. But Sanjeev, very quickly, we were talking about K.C. Venugopal and Randeep Surjewala. For Randeep Surjewala, Karnataka is also an election of resurrection for himself. He was in Goa last time. Mr. Digvijay, after the mistakes that were made by Mr. Digvijay Singh, Goa this time was a big defeat for the Congress party. It's very important for Randeep Surjewala's own personal career as well that the Congress wins the election and there are no hiccups.
Well, of course, finally those pictures that we saw, very refreshing to see Congress party celebrating an election win, which is very rare these days. But yes, even for Randeep Surjewala personally, I think he'll feel vindicated at some level because he had put in all that effort, and congratulations to him.
Sanjeev, also a point as far as, and the point I was trying to make earlier when we got into the break, and while you said that while the BJP loses, you say that BJP hasn't lost, but when the Congress, if the same thing had happened to the Congress, you would have said it's a defeat. I agree with you that if these numbers hold, it's a defeat for the BJP, but let's look at the vote shares. The BJP's vote shares doesn't seem to have gone down tremendously.
See, we had the panelists saying that, BJP is losing seats because, they've not done well. It could be true to an extent, but if you look at vote share, BJP is still where it was. It is the JDS that has lost about 7% vote share. They've come down from about 18-20 to 13%. And that similar amount of vote share is adding to the Congress.
True. So
therefore, the BJP is not losing any ground, but it's the Congress that is doing better.
Look at the vote shares, 43% for the Congress.
How does one read it for 2024 then?
No, but look, never juxtapose a Karnataka assembly election with a parliamentary election. There, the BJP gets a 51% vote share. That 10% JDS vote, which is around 20%, falls down straight to 10%. So there can't be a correlation.
No, but would you like to venture on that point? Do you believe that there is something that the BJP needs to take for 2024, and that it's more than just saying that, look, no, very different elections? The BJP went into this campaign with all guns blazing. They had the Prime Minister raise core issues for the BJP. They went into this with infrastructure as a key issue. They got their social coalition working as well, and now they are headed to perhaps not a victory. So what is the learning lesson for the BJP?
I think one thing that would be easier for the BJP in 2024, it would be a national election. This time locally they were on the back foot, they were on the defense. But in 2024 they will have the national agenda.
Is that what you're...
The aspects would be national, the concerns would be national. But this would be a year of activity for the BJP in Karnataka as the opposition party. The biggest takeaway for them today would be that one, they cannot fight all the state elections on national issues, and that their vote share has remained there. That would give them some sort of happiness, but that's not enough.
Also, Congress, for the BJP, then national election, also Modi is on the ticket. He's actually on ticket where people are voting for him. And then that gets juxtaposed with who is contesting against Narendra Modi. If it again is the narrative between Modi and Rahul Gandhi, it's clear advantage that we have seen in 2019 for the BJP and Prime
That is what we had in 2018.
That's exactly what I was saying. 36% vote last time, 36% this time. Obviously, we'll get further updated statistics. It's the 13% that is worrying. right? 13 for the JDS, not for me. I mean, 13% for the JDS. You see the 13% down 5%, up for the Congress 5%, which is what I'm telling you, Vishnu. In this election, I think the story was, while everybody focused on a Congress versus BJP battle, I think there was a deeper Congress versus JDS and a JDS resulting in a a three-way battle that's costing this. Let's look at those close seats as well. That will give us we have a graphic on the seats with very close margins. Earlier this was, we'll just, there you have that up. Close contest that we have. Chikkanayakkanahalli, Congress versus JDS, again 45. Kolar, as I pointed out, the seat that Siddaramaiah wanted. Now you see Puttur again in Dakshin Kannada. It's Congress versus an independent
BJP
rebel who's contesting there. It's rebellion where they hit down to that. Look, Bhatkal, for instance, again Bhatkal where the the Congress versus. Yeah, again, it's an important seat there, all in coastal Karnataka that's coming down there.
Sure.
So this sort of shows to you that earlier when we saw the graphic of close margins, you saw primarily the JDS bastions. Now what you're seeing is the close margins are spread out across the board, whether it's in the BJP bastion or in the Congress bastion.
Let's just go straight across to NDTV's Dhanushri Pandey, who joins us now from outside the BJP or at the BJP headquarters in Delhi. So are there any reactions, Dhanushri, at this stage coming in?
Well, Vishnu, I'm right now at the BJP headquarters, but all of us, by the looks of it, going to look like we are going to be outside the BJP headquarters, because even the spokesperson have started to leave. And I was just speaking to one of the spokesperson. He said even we have asked the caterers to now leave, because there are not going to be any celebrations, and it's rarest of a rare scene. At least in the recent history, we have not seen that the BJP headquarters is this silent and this quiet. And now the spokesperson have also started to leave. Looks like they have conceded to their defeat in the Karnataka elections, and some 2 or 3 spokespersons are here, and they are actually talking to the media personnel as to what went wrong on the ground. But as far as the BJP headquarters is concerned, we are no big leader is expected here, as it has always been a ritual that if BJP wins the election, Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself comes to the headquarters. He meets all the karyakartas, the workers, and there's a huge celebration. But this time around, looks like there is not going to be any celebrations. The caterers have already been asked to leave. In fact, the spokesperson have already started to leave. So a rare scene at the BJP headquarters, but
Tanushree is giving us that update from the BJP headquarters. We have been since morning talking about the comfort factor for the Congress party. What would that number be? At this moment, Congress is at 122 leads. That's the comfort factor that the Congress would be looking at. These numbers would be very pleasing, and BJP has fallen less than 70 at this moment. 69 for the BJP, 26 for the JDS, and 7 others who are leading in the various 224 leads which have come out. So this number would be the number that the Congress party, Maya, would feel very, very comfortable with.
Basically,
this is what they would want this to
be
end.
cancelled for tonight's flight from Bengaluru to Chennai. The tickets can be cancelled.
They look very comfortable indeed, and I noticed that on the table as well, we've moved from chow chow bath to a single dish, bisi bele bath.
No, Maya, we can bring you more. I mean, that's okay.
That's okay. You got my hint. So this number for the Congress, I think they would be comfortable.
120 plus.
Yes.
120 plus was the number that
they
were looking
may
at.
not be heading to your home state, where I feel that they
no,
could
that's
stay
all right.
where they
that's
are.
That's all right. Bangalore is home as well. So,
yes.
I'm glad that they're going to be there. But 120 plus. And now Ankit,
now.
Yeah. Look, that's Siddaramaiah talking there.
Let's listen.
Okay, let's listen to what Siddaramaiah says.
ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷ ನಮ್ಮ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆಯಂತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಲೆಕ್ಕಾಚಾರದಂತೆ ಮುನ್ನಡೆಯನ್ನು ಸಾಧಿಸಿದೆ. ನಾವು ಬಿಜೆಪಿಗೆ 65-70 ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು, ಆ ಥರನೇ ಟ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಇದೆ. ಈಗ ನಾವು 120ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಅದೇ ಥರ ಟ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಇದೆ. JDS 25-26 ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತಿದ್ದು, ಅದೇ ಥರ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಟ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ 120 ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಥಾನಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಗೆಲ್ತದೆ. ಈಗ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇನ್ನ 5 ರೌಂಡು 6 ರೌಂಡು 7 ರೌಂಡ್ ಹಿಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ರೌಂಡ್ಗಳಾಗಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷ 120ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸ್ಥಾನಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸ್ವಂತ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ.
ವರ್ಣದಲ್ಲೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಲೀಡ್ ಇದೆ.
ವರ್ಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ 3 ರೌಂಡ್ 4 ರೌಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
3 or 4 rounds are over in Varuna.
ಸೊ ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಲೀಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು.
I will lead. The leads will increase for me in Varuna as well, is what he's saying.
ಪುಟ್ಟರಂಗ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಗೆಲ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೋಮಣ್ಣವರು 2 ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋಲ್ತಾರೆ. ವರ್ಣದಲ್ಲೂ ಸೋಲ್ತಾರೆ.
So Somanna has contested in 2 constituencies, in Varuna as well as Chamarajanagar.
ಕೇಂದ್ರ ನಾಯಕರು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರ ಅಲೆ ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾರಿ ಬಂದ್ರು ಕೂಡ, ಅಮಿತ್ ಶಾ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾರಿ ಬಂದ್ರು, ನಡ್ಡಾ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾರಿ ಬಂದ್ರು,
I have already told that
ಮತದಾರರ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಪರಿಣಾಮ
a campaign by the Prime Minister will not be the one that can change the narrative on the ground.
ಅವರ ಭ್ರಷ್ಟಾಚಾರ, ಅವರ ದುರಾಡಳಿತ, ಅವರ ಜನವಿರೋಧಿ ನೀತಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ
corruption and anti-incumbency were major issues.
ಜನ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ,
and people want to change.
ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ಬಹುಶಃ ಅದು ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಜನ ತೀರ್ಪು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನನಗನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ.
So that's Siddaramaiah saying that he expects the Congress to be 120 plus. This is the first number that Siddaramaiah has actually given out himself, and he's waited.
He's being very careful.
He's very careful, like the old seasoned politician, waiting closely, and then finally, I will talk when I can talk.
It's interesting that the Congress leaders are, by and large, I mean, the celebrations haven't gone overboard.
Yeah.
There has been no major national or state leader other than Siddaramaiah, who was very muted in that response so far.
Yeah.
I think they're still waiting to see what finally happens over there. There could be a sense of disbelief at one level that have we actually done this?
Not
or
in the Delhi Congress.
Not at the Delhi. No, they are focusing on Bhangra.
So you
but
know,
I think if I can just, I think the point that needs to be looked at is, I mean, when would the Congress actually come on the stage and say, no, we have genuinely won, it's over now, our leaders are secure, we're going to form the government and X is going to be our next chief minister. Do you think that's going to happen, Sanjeev?
See,
soon?
Right now, we are looking at, these are all projections, right? If you look at the vote share, something is not adding up. If Congress is getting a 43% vote share, then the number of seats has to be 120 plus, right? There is that drop in the JDS vote share, but where is that going? Right now, the number of seats that JDS has is more or less where it was last time, while the vote share has gone down.
My theory is that the BJP, wherever the BJP lost its vote share, it's got compensated by some of the JDS vote coming into it. The JDS vote, which has gone 5%, is not even Steven between. The Congress vote has, so this is tactical increase in vote share for the Congress. I think what has happened is they've increased vote shares in Congress versus BJP seats and Congress versus JDS seats, and some of the JDS vote has also transferred to the BJP.
True, like we were seeing in coastal Karnataka, where the Congress is gaining. So of course the vote share would come from there as well, where the BJP swept it last time.